Yo, man, we're gonna do a player's choice pop the balloon challenge. We're gonna set it up.
I don't know what that.
So what's gonna be the questions?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, really?
Know what that means.
What's the questions and topics, Swiper?
I mean, we will have to get a bunch of guests. You know, some of the guests.
I don't know what that.
We're gonna get some of the people you frequent, and then bring them on the show and have them ask the questions. Wrong.
I frequent
some of the places you frequent. Yeah, the late night taco stands, 2 a.m.
Yeah, we'll get the rodeo. We'll get stars. We'll get Acropolis. We'll get all these good spots, man. We should have some good people there. Y'all will enjoy it. Trust me. It'll be a sight to see. But a sight to see in the NBA so far is the Cleveland Cavaliers. And they're just not off to a good start, Chill. They are off to a historically good start. Now, the Cavaliers, they have the best record in the NBA after 62 games in franchise history.
LeBron couldn't do that?
They're the second team to have three 12-game winning streaks in a season.
Oh, wow.
They have the 8th best record in NBA history up until this point. Best three-point percentage in the NBA?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
And they have the highest point per average, second highest field goal percentage, and the third highest field goals made. So historically, offensively, this team is having an exceptional year, and just record-wise.
Oh, wow.
They're right outside the top 5 in defense, too, by the way. They're 6th in the league in defense.
Not bad for a team whose ceiling is
the Eastern Conference
Yeah,
Finals.
it's not bad.
They're doing even better than the Boston Celtics did last year. Wow.
Pretty good for a team that could only has the hope.
Wow. No MVP candidate on the roster, by the way, either. Wow.
I mean, you could put someone in the conversation.
Nah. Not even in the conversation.
Disagree.
You 100% could put somebody in the conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Donovan Mitchell. I think he was Player of the Month in the Eastern Conference over the last. James just entered the conversation not too long ago. Is that not a fact?
That Player of the Month looking real suspect. Got a nice shiny LA light on it. You know what I mean? But shout out.
Really? I mean, like I said, James just entered the conversation. He was Player of the Month. The Lakers have gone up to the number. Have gone to the number 2 spot. Meanwhile, the Cavs have been at the top of the Eastern Conference for 90% of the season. And Donovan Mitchell,
I think 100. I think 100%.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Donovan Mitchell over the last month, what is he averaging? 28 a game, 29 a game. I think he's Player of the Month. So, I mean, sure, you can enter the conversation, but excuse me, for everything that Cleveland has done, I'm 100% confident that I've been the highest on Cleveland all year. They have had the best offense in the league.
You have not.
Not anymore. You lost that position. You didn't feel like the Rockets.
Really? And the reason why is because all of you guys up here thought that they would be this good. All of you. That's why I'm not the highest on them. Because all of you guys up here thought that they would be this good.
Preseason, you got it. Preseason, you was the highest on the Cavs. You've been the highest on the Cavs for 3 years. Cool. Now the season is happening. And we all think the Cavs can win a championship. And you think the best they can do is go to the conference finals. That's why we're all higher on them than you. That's why. Because 6 months ago you was the highest. Now, today, we think the Cavs can do more than you think they can. So, yes, that's why we're higher than you. That's why.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
But we don't need to harp on that. Can we give the Cavs credit? Can we praise?
Yes, let's do that. Let's talk about how good the Cavs are.
We started this by saying, "No, chill, you was wrong."
Yes, let's
talk about the Cavs being good, please. Yeah.
Let's talk about how good the Cavs are right now. Let's talk about the fact that they got the best offense in the league. Let's talk about the fact that they right outside the top 5 in defense. I love the fact that Darius Garland, the battery has been put in his back, not only by Donovan Mitchell, but also by Kenny Atkinson. His stop and pop game this season has been really good. It's been way better than what it was 2 years ago. He would not have looked at the long ball line the way he's looking at it at the top of the key and at the left break. I think that's where he's been the most effective. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes with the ball, getting downhill with the best of the players in the league. Y'all already know how I feel about Evan Mobley. I think he's the best defensive player in the game. teams are gearing up for the Cavs more this year than I've ever seen. Like when teams come into Cleveland or whenever they play against any team, those teams are way more prepared than they would be in the past. There aren't any teams that's looking past the Cavs. The Cavs aren't sneaking up on anybody. And I love their rotation. They got 9, 10 guys who are legit rotation guys. And since we're on the subject of rotation, I like the fact that Kenny Atkinson has put Hunter back in the rotation and started Strus, because I think that's where he's the most effective as a rotation guy. But this Cavs team is incredible. I love everything about them.
One of my favorite things is the fact that they'll always have a lead guard on the floor and a big man, to where if you want to have Darius Garland and Jared Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell, you can have that. You can always have a lead ball handler and a big man out on the floor, because those are two consistent things that championship teams need. If we look in the past, a lot of contending teams have 2 starting level bigs. They have multiple ball handlers. They have guys that can make decisions, and DeAndre Hunter, Ty Jerome, Max Strus, guys that can play defense. So the versatility is the best part for me, because I think that's like the name of the game when it comes to winning a championship.
Also, the Cleveland Cavaliers did something last night. They were the first team to clinch a playoff spot.
Which is
I was really worried they weren't gonna make it.
Yeah, man.
Where they at?
It was getting scary before last night they clinched it. Now I was glad to see they finally made it.
Where are they at? 50? Where are they at? 52 wins, 51 wins, 52 wins, something like that. 52 and 10. I could see them winning. I could see them winning 65 games. I could see that.
I don't expect them to.
Yeah, I don't think that's ridiculous.
So they're on pace for like, what are they?
They might get to 70. They might get to 70. Pace. Let's do some.
Chill. Is this going to be the? Will this be the most impressive? One of the most impressive seasons you've seen from a team that doesn't necessarily have like an all-time great player?
Well, number one,
they're on pace for 69.
So they're on pace for 69 wins. Number one, I think Evan Mobley's going to be an all-time great player. I think Donovan Mitchell also is going to be an all-time great player too. But with that being said, if I think about like 2016, that Warriors team, I'm not gonna put them in the same category with the Warriors in terms of how great the Warriors were, but like 2016 Warriors, the 96, 97 Bulls, the team that won 69 games. Like nobody talks about that team. That's one of the best teams I've ever seen. The 92 Bulls, no, they weren't that good. I'm not going to go.
But if we just look, I think
I'm not going to do that.
Swipe, but to your point though, I think about 10 years down the line, we're going to start seeing more teams like this that rattle off 68 wins a season and don't have that dominant player, because once again, we're starting to move towards roster construction instead of having your best player just be the deciding factor in playoff series. We're starting to lead more on having your 6 through 9 be really good and your 6 through 9 being able to start.
What does that mean though, John? What does that mean, that not dominant play? I think Donovan Mitchell's the best 2 guard in the game. I think Evan Mobley's the best defensive player in the game. These guys are dominant players.
I get that
because he's not Giannis, because he's not Joker.
Exactly.
I mean,
you're leaning on your
they aren't the best players in the world. Yes, that's right.
Yes,
but they are the best players in the world.
No, they're not.
Because I'm not. Wait a minute, I'm not the best. So I'm not the best player. Okay,
no, he's not that echelon of player.
There's a difference between.
John D didn't say anything controversial here. He's saying he's not.
No, he didn't.
Have a Jokic,
no, he didn't.
You're welcome, Ron.
A Luka, they don't have those players. They have really good players, all NBA caliber players, cool, but they don't have that tier 1 best player in the world conversation player. Normally, that's what you needed to be an all-time great team. You look at the 97 Bulls, the 96 Bulls, the 92 Bulls. You look at the 2016 Warriors, the 2017 Warriors, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan. You look at the Bucks with Kareem. You look at the Lakers with Magic and Kareem. You look at the Celtics with Larry Bird. You look at the Celtics with Bill Russell. You look at the Sixers with Wilt Chamberlain. Normally, you needed to have one of those guys who are arguably the best player in the world to rattle off these great regular seasons or these all-time great playoff runs. John D's saying you probably don't need to have that anymore. That's what he's saying. That's not a knock on Donovan.
And I got that. That part I get.
Yeah,
I 100% get. No, I 100% get that part. That does make sense. But I think where the buzzword was the dominant player. There's a difference. There's a difference to your point, John. With they don't have Joker. They don't have Giannis. I'm not going to argue that point. No, they don't have Joker. They don't have Giannis. But they got a fringe top 10 player in the game who is a dominant player in Donovan Mitchell. We've seen him win playoff series. We have seen that. And with also them having a dominant player on the defense and Evan Mobley, who for all intents and purposes, I think he's the best defensive player in the game. So, I mean, I don't want to dismiss. I don't want to dismiss the fact that what I don't want it to sound like is I don't want it to sound like they got a bunch of just good players. No, they have elite players on their team.
Well,
but I have a bunch of great players.
I understand your point.
They lean on their roster. They lean on their roster construction more than Donovan Mitchell being able to carry them. That's why his touches have went down this season. They're leaning on Evan Mobley taking a jump offensively, Darius Garland being the offensive player that they think he can be, Jared Allen being the perfect big next to Evan Mobley, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, and Max Strus, all those guys off the bench. I'm not saying that Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley aren't some of the better players in the league. What I'm saying is they're rather leaning on their roster construction instead of saying, okay, Donovan Mitchell, get me out of this situation. Okay, Darius Garland, get me out of this situation, because they know they have player 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that some of these other teams just don't have, and that's what they're leaning on.
Well, John D, to the point, and I want to be very clear about this because we talked about this a little bit last year. I think this is exactly what the NBA wanted. This is the definition of parity, and I think the CBA has split up the talent pool in the NBA to a degree that we're probably not going to see legitimate super teams. Legitimate. Now, I think the closest iteration to a super team, I think, in this era is probably going to end up being what the Celtics were last year. There will be other teams like that, I imagine, over the next 10 years because they're going to be like superstar role players in their role kind of thing. And you got like 2 high-end stars and something like that. We'll see other iterations of that. But chill, I think the point John D made that I feel like I've made as well, but I feel like this is a great point, John D, is that Tatum, even historically, is also like a very good player. I'm saying I'm going the last 2 years. I'm just going the last 2 years where we're going now. It's not a slander. This is what I'm saying. Stop
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I'm saying that relative.
Well, I just want to know how they're a super team if they only got one top 30 player.
Top 30 player?
Well, yeah. I mean, y'all don't think any of them other guys are top 30?
No, I think JB was a top 30 player last year.
This year?
No, well, they're not as good this year.
But didn't you say that the closest thing that they're a super team? If there's a super team, it's them.
Yes,
I mean, hey,
I'm saying last year, yeah, they had 2 players. I think this is what I mean. They had 2 players that scored 40 points last night. We'll talk about them in a minute. That are not their max players. Chill. I mean, you're the historian. You've been around. You tell me when you've seen 2 role players put 2 40 balls up in the same game before, like for a team, like legitimate. Like very curious to see if you can pull that up. Like if you can find that in your memory.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that before.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I think that's kind of where we're headed. And I think that typically teams like that we've seen with Steph Curry, even James Harden, like that 17-18 runs, like when they were winning like all those games and stuff, they still had like these are like all-time great individual seasons, all-time great players type of thing. I think now the iteration of the NBA is going to be that's just not going to be the priority. And because typically, go ahead, Ron.
Go ahead. I just got to push back when you're done, but go ahead. Completely
go ahead. Your point. You do the pushback before I finish the point.
I'm just thank you, Swiper, for allowing me to step in and prove that what you guys are saying has some truth to it. But also, once again, even with the Boston Celtics, a lot of you guys will argue that Jason Tatum's a top 5, if not top 10 player. We're looking at SGA right now. They are right there neck and neck with the Cavaliers. I've been told he's having a historical season. He's top 3, 4 in the NBA. You have that. Also, some people believe that Nikola Jokic still exists and that he still will have an opportunity to run off championships in the future. He's still going to be around. He'll still be able to
He had a quiet 22 and 15 and 6 last night, by the way.
Also, look no further than LA. All of a sudden, they got 2 top 5 players. LeBron still got 1 or 2 more years to kick after this. You have that. And furthermore, wait, I got one more. Furthermore, it is a team in San Antonio that are brewing some things up. Wemby is ascending quickly. If they start winning and De'Aaron Fox does what he does, if De'Aaron Fox does what he did in Sacramento, all of a sudden we're gonna look at him as a top 20.
Ron,
20
I think
you're proving my point. I think you're putting
because you guys are saying roster parity.
You interrupted a great soliloquy to make up a point that didn't make sense.
The point that I'm making
solidifying
is, so you guys are saying, you guys are saying
Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox with a bunch of tier 1 role players would be an elite team.
Every championship team has tier 1 role players.
But I'm saying the difference is that
you got it. So the conversation started with the Cavaliers are winning without a historically great player, right?
Right, but here's the difference.
I don't want to be mistaken, right?
No, you're right. You are correct. You are correct.
So I'm saying that all of these teams that I just mentioned have historically great players that can win a championship and potentially will win a championship.
But
keep going, Ron. Keep going, Ron.
John G never said nor implied, hey, we don't even need great players anymore. Like, he never said that. He wasn't he was just saying you don't need them to have great seasons. That's what he said. He never said
to swipe it.
Hey,
but
you know what? I know you got a Jokic over here, but nah, you know what? I'm cool with my Tyler Hero. Like, he wasn't doing that. Like, he wasn't saying that. He was just saying,
not saying it,
one of the days where you have a superstar and you put a bunch of lower tier role players around him and say, let my superstar get me over the line. That's what he's saying. But if you could build a great roster around a tier 1 superstar, that's obviously going to be better than building a great roster around a tier 2 superstar. Like,
and that's cool. But
that's not what he was saying.
Isn't anything new with tier 2 superstars?
That's not what he was saying. That's not what he was saying.
I get that. And I'm pushing back to say that it's still tier 1 superstars are still king.
Yeah,
those are still the queens on the chessboard,
right? And we get that,
but then we have roster construction. Our two, in my opinion, the 2 best players in the league do not have the elite roster construction around them to go win a championship. They just don't. That's Giannis and that's Jokic. But when you look at Donovan Mitchell and how good their team is and how really well constructed their roster is, or the Boston Celtics or the Oklahoma City Thunder, not even the Lakers. The Lakers may have 2 out of the 3 best players in every series they walk into. But once again, if they see a Cleveland in the finals or if they see an OKC, I will trust their 5 to 9 way more than I would trust Los Angeles. And even though if they have Luka and LeBron, I would still trust the OKC's bench. And that's what matters sometimes.
And to Swiper's point, Swiper was making the point that when you said, Ron, about SGA, we said about Joker, when you said about Giannis, well, where did Denver get Joker? They got him in the draft. Where did Milwaukee get Giannis? They got him in the draft. You're going to see more of that moving forward because of the CBA. Because you're not going to see these guys jumping on units and being max players, 3 and 4 different max players. You're going to see teams building it through the draft more today than you've seen in the past. They got Mobley in the draft. They got Garland in the draft. So you're going to see teams building it where the parity in the league is going to be more like same thing with Memphis. They got Ja in the draft. They got Jaren Jackson in the draft. So you're going to see more of that than you've seen in the past, off the strength that because of the CBA being what it is, and it basically handicaps teams with that second second apron, the teams aren't going to have the flexibility to just go out and grab teams. So you're going to have to, GMs are going to have to really GM.
That part I do agree with. I do agree that you are going to have to get it from the mud. If you're a GM, you are going to have to draft your ass off to put together a competent roster. I still do believe, though, that it's all going to boil down to the GM that strikes gold, that finds a diamond mine. And you got to find your Victor Wembanyama's in the draft. You have to find your Shea's in the draft, even though they traded for Shea. You have to be able to, and that could be as lucky as getting a number 1 overall pick. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
you got Cooper Flag,
you're gonna find a Tony Parker, maybe a Manu Ginobili, like somebody.
Find Victor.
I'm saying though, like
they stumbled across Victor Wembanyama.
Okay, but they got lucky enough to get Victor. But
yes,
hey,
absolutely.
You got Victor, and now that
gives you a stronger advantage when building a roster. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then
having a tier 1 superstar gives you an advantage.
Yeah,
because you have that level of player, but you can still be a great team. And I think more so now than ever. I think before it was like there was anomalies, like the 2014 Spurs, great team, didn't have that tier 1 player. They had a bunch of really good players. They relied on depth, relied on ball movement, but they didn't have that guy. They didn't have LeBron, they didn't have Kevin Durant, they didn't have Chris Paul at that time. They didn't have any of those guys, but they were still a great team. So like you can do it. But I just think now more than ever, I think we're looking at rosters where there's a reason the Cavs don't play anyone over like 33 minutes a game because they rely on their depth. It's the reason why the Grizzlies don't play anyone over like 32, 33 minutes a game. It's because they rely on their depth. You don't need to just have one superstar, put role players around them and say, figure it out. That's not, especially in the playoffs. That's not going to work. I just don't believe that's going to work. And if it does work, then all credit to that team that makes it work. But I don't see that being the formula anymore. You need a good team.
And you also, to Bron, to your point, you do have to strike gold. I mean, I thought Ty Jerome was a gift. Nobody was interested in Ty Jerome, but the Cavs, and they end up bagging him, and he's been great for them. You know, Sam Merrill, I don't think Sam Merrill got drafted, and he was the Mountain West Player of the Year. I'm not sure if he even got drafted. And with that being said, you strike and goal with guys like this, and you also get some really good rotation guys in trades, like when you ended up getting Karis LeVert. It just works for your unit, and you're going to have to GM more than anything if you're going to have a competent team and have an opportunity to win the NBA championship. And Miles, I think if I'm not mistaken, to your point, you said that the Cavs are I think they're on pace to win 69 games. You said.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Celtics are on pace to win 60 games this year. If I'm not mistaken, 59.
Right.
Yeah, 59,
right.
59, 60 games this
OKC
season.
right in that area too.
Yeah, OKC. I think they're on pace to win like 67 games. So
that's the team right there.
Boston are on pace to win 58. Boston are on pace to win 58.
That roster construction that got over there. Okay, see, when you watch them more and more, you just see how seamlessly them dudes fit in together. And the GM and Coach Dagnall, like they did a hell of a job constructing that team. I mean, we obviously during the offseason, when they got Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, we knew that those two were going to fit seamlessly with the squad. But just everybody, how they're just molding together. Aaron Wiggins, what's his the kid, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe. I love to see teams like that where guys that are like, you know, the other guys or whatever, the throwaway guys that people don't expect this.
You know what the crazy thing about OKC is? They have a top 3 projected pick just sitting on the just getting healthy.
Oh, right. See, you forget about the kid.
6'6" point guard that can play defense, has a nice little shooting form, can pass.
Hand him over.
He got to go.
They about to have another one. They about to have another 8. They about to have another 8.
They about to get that Philly pick too. Like,
right. And I'm sorry if we weren't at this point yet. But just so that it doesn't go unsaid today, I just want to just point out. Like, I know Memphis got their butts kicked last night, but I did enjoy that game. I liked watching that game. I liked the matchup and everything. And I want to say that J-Dub and Gigi Wallace, the matchup, J-Dub's better. J-Dub's better. But the matchup between Gigi Jackson, I'm sorry.
I figured.
I was
Jackson, my bad. The matchup between Gigi Jackson and J-Dub, that matchup is going to be a great matchup for the rest of the deck for a decade to come. Hopefully they stay in those two teams and get the matchup against each other and go at it. Like I said, J-Dub's better today. He'll probably stay better. I don't know, but the matchup alone, I just love watching them two dudes. That was great last night.
So
Ron,
go ahead, Chill.
Ron, is there a matchup early that could trip the Cavs up? Because I don't think that there's a matchup early that could trip up the Cavs.
Yes, I already brought this up.
I'm not talking about Oklahoma City. I'm talking about the Cavs because that's who we're talking about. We're talking about Cleveland right now. And in the Eastern Conference, is there a matchup early that could trip them up?
Yes.
That could give them trouble.
Indiana.
Pacers.
Do we count the second round as early?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for them. For
a team as good as Cleveland, I think the second round is early.
Yes.
There's none of the Eastern Conference playing teams are serious teams. Respectfully, none of them are serious. The Cavs, the Magic, the Hawks, and the Bulls.
If it ended today, they should handle Orlando in 4 or 5 games.
The Cavs and the Celtics have a bye in the first round. Like,
I'm not respecting them.
Respect Miami. Respect Miami.
They'll smoke them too. They'll smoke
Miami.
If Terry Rozier is playing basketball for them,
you have to respect Miami every single season.
Miami not just gonna get steamrolled, but they gonna get the hell beat out of them.
Wait, what you say about Scary Terry?
If he's playing basketball for the Miami Heat, they're not serious. I don't know.
The reason why I'm asking that is
you've been watching them.
They got Devion though.
They do. Yes.
The reason I'm asking that is because I'm thinking back to teams that were awesome early and often in the regular season. I mean, I watched the Rockets in 2008 win 22 straight games, and I watched them get bounced in round 1 by Utah, right? I watched the Dallas Mavericks win 67 games and get bounced by Golden State in round 1. I saw that. So I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about this Cavs team that, you know, they're on a historic run and they're rolling right now. And I'm thinking to myself, is there a team in round 1 or early on that could give them trouble?
No, not in the first round.
Round 1, no. The second rounds, I think Indiana could cause some problems.
I think Indiana can beat a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference.
Is Milwaukee on that side of the bracket?
Please get in line, John.
4 or 5 seed.
No, please get in line.
I have the Cavs, but I do think you don't want
the Pacers can beat anybody from 3, 2, and 1. They are good enough to do that this year. The issue is will they be able to do it? But
what Cavs are going to run into if they see Indiana, because when I think about
y'all, bro,
when I think about the Cavs, I'm
not even at you. It's just more so
I'm posing the question because I like Indiana. I like Indiana. I do. I love what Indiana's doing. But what I'm asking
you, the conference finals last year,
100%. I mean, so what I'm asking Swiper is, what threat do they pose to the Cavs? Is it depth? Is it their star? Is it on the where are they going to give the Cavs the most trouble in your estimation?
They have the exact thing that you need. They have an offense that can spread you out. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, we're going to put you in space. We're going to rotate your defense multiple times every single possession. They have an elite pull-up shooter in Tyrese Halliburton. They have an elite post this year, isolation post scorer in Pascal Siakam, who's also a very good one-on-one scorer. He's better in a vacuum. There's an argument, and I wouldn't even think it's crazy because I think he did last year. There's an argument that in a playoff setting, especially given the scoring output he could have, he could be better than Evan Mobley in that same series because of his ability to score at 3 level, and especially even as a ball handler driver. Miles Turner, and then having Obi Toppin, having Neesmith. They have multiple defenders that can throw at Darius Garland, who struggled with size, who I think should be 13 All-NBA. They have multiple defenders that can throw at Donovan Mitchell. Their defense is a lot better than what people realize. Like they have players that can actually defend consistently. And then you have Ox's favorite, obviously TJ McConnell. We'll see, you know, it's all going to be like predicated on so many different things.
Jerome versus TJ McConnell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there are so many players on that roster that can get to it and that they know what they're supposed to do. They're one of the best coached teams in the NBA. They've been one of the best teams in the NBA since January. And I think a lot of people, the reason why people are lower on this team because of how they started, because Tyrese Halliburton wasn't himself to start the year off. If you have watched him the last 25 or 30 games, he's been very good. He's been playing at an elite level, scoring at an elite level, playmaking, arguably better than almost anybody in the NBA other than 2 players this year. I think legitimately, if teams are not prepared to play versus the Pacers, including Cleveland, they will get Cleveland out there in 6 if they're not ready for that matchup. But I do expect them to win.
So to counter your argument for Indiana, which is legit, Indiana, one of the main reasons why they thrive is because of their transition, and Tyrese Halliburton is a big part of that. Cleveland's got one of the best transition defenses in the league. That's number 1. Number 2, their switchability on the perimeter and forcing guys like Nembhard, forcing guys like Neesmith, forcing guys like Mathurin to stay at the long ball line and shoot. In the process of them doing that, they rebound a lot better than people give Cleveland credit for. I think Cleveland they're in the top 10 in rebounding this season. And then I'm going to have Evan Mobley matched up onto Pascal Siakam, to your point. And with Evan Mobley being matched up on Pascal Siakam, I think that could take a lot out of Pascal Siakam on the defensive end, because he's going to exert a lot of energy on the offensive end because he doesn't have the amount of help that Evan Mobley has on the defensive end. So when that translates over to offense, it will be a lot different. When you're talking about a guy in Tyrese Halliburton, I feel like he could be slowed down with different bodies being thrown at him, like Okoro. I feel like why am I losing?
So do you know that? Do you know the Patriots have a better defensive rating this year than the Cleveland Cavaliers since January 1st?
Since January
in 2025. That's
in 2025. They've been the 7th best defense in the NBA in 2025.
One more time.
The Patriots have been the 7th best defense in the NBA in 2025 .
And the
Cleveland Cavaliers
the Cleveland
10th.
Pascal's having like the best defensive year since like prime Toronto.
Since his all NBA season.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Days. Nembhard is like all defensive caliber guards. And I don't say that 100%. To just throw the term out there. He's actually like that level of defender.
Yeah, John Cena, update your resume. You know who you're talking to.
Damn. Aaron Neesmith, very good defender. Tyrese Halliburton's improved. The biggest issue I have with them is like rebounding, like defensive rebounding. That was my biggest concern with them against the Knicks last year. But they obviously won that series, injuries and stuff, but they won. And then offensively, like, yeah, Mobley probably will match up with Siakam, but I mean, the Cavs switch a lot, and the Pacers do a good job of getting mismatches. Pascal's going to be attacking Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell.
All series.
Like, it's very rare.
He's going to be attacking Evan Mobley too. Pascal ain't stunned Evan Mobley.
Yeah. I'm not saying
Evan, you could come get some of this too.
I'm not saying he's going to run from an Evan Mobley matchup, but it's also like teams go for favorable matchups, and the Cavs have two really small guards. Pascal Siakam will.
But I'm glad. But here's the difference with that, and this is why I feel like with the Celtics may have the advantage, because when you have a one-on-one matchup with the best defender, more times than not, that best defender is not going to get help because I can handle this. When we know you're mismatch hunting, Donovan Mitchell, we know you're mismatch hunting Darius Garland. We're going to load up to do everything that we can to make sure that you don't take advantage of that matchup. I think the Celtics did that when they ended up having, they went specifically with Jason Tatum after Mobley to get him and Mobley in one-on-one situations. And Jason Tatum, for a large part of the game, took advantage of that. Now, if you're Indiana and you're going to attack Darius Garland, you're going to attack Donovan Mitchell. Well, what you're asking is you're asking the defense to load up, because we're not just going to leave Donovan Mitchell on an island by himself. We're not going to leave Darius Garland one-on-one by himself, switched on to Pascal Siakam. That's not going to happen. Now, with Pascal Siakam having to deal with Evan Mobley, I think that's a little bit different, but I also think he can be worn down on offense, which is going to affect him defensively.
Indiana want you to send help. That's what opens up the ball movement, the driving kick, everything. Like,
and their point guard.
You play them one-on-one, you probably have a better chance than sending two on the ball or sending soft help. Now you're in rotation, and they're gonna find an open shot. That's what makes Indiana.
You know what?
And I got the Cavs winning. Now, Cavs are better.
100%.
The Cavs winning. But the Pacers do present some matchup problems, and if you are sending help on Pascal Siakam isolations against Darius Garland, you're going to end up giving up an open shot on that possession. I'm like 85% sure of it.
I think the Pacers do a really good job of like making sure everybody on the floor can make those quick decisions, because that's what they're when their offense of. They're not running a heliocentric offense where Tyrese Halliburton is just bringing the ball up the floor and holding the ball for like 75% of the possession. Everybody on the floor can make that quick decision, so therefore they can leverage that to get mismatches, get open shots, have the defense constantly moving, and now everybody on the floor can make decisions out of a defense that's already not prepared or not in their stance. So I think that's what Indiana does really good that doesn't get a lot of credit.
If I'm Indiana and the Cavaliers, and I look at that matchup specifically with Indiana on offense, with Pascal Siakam, I'm not mismatch hunting. Like with Pascal Siakam, I'm
whoever's covering them, go after him.
You eating Evan Mobley. You catch the ball, you going straight at Evan Mobley. And on the opposite side, if I'm Coach Atkinson, I'm not sending no help either. Like, Evan, that's you. We're not going to play into their game and send help and make him make quick decisions and rotate. Nah, Evan, you're supposed to be the defensive player of your generation. It's time. You
why would the Pacers?
We don't do that no more. The not sending help point no more. Ox.
The not sending help point. I agree. The not sending help point. I agree with. I mean, we watched.
You have to mismatch hunt, Ox.
I mean, no. There's nothing wrong with mismatch hunting, and I'm down for that too.
You don't do that no more. You just
I'm genuinely asking. What's the logic behind Pascal choosing to go at Evan Mobley instead of Darius Garland? Like, why would they opt to have that?
Because apparently they're not switch hunting for whatever reason.
No, that's not it.
I didn't say that.
He said they don't have to. Which I agree.
I'm not even trying to.
I wasn't even going at you. I'm just saying in just general.
I just want to make it clear that I'm not coming from that stance. I'm you know what I'm saying. I don't think there's anything wrong with mismatch hunting at all. I'm just saying for the Pacers though. You know, I think they might be expecting that a little bit, but also just because I don't think they have to. You know what I mean? I think Pascal Siakam is one of those, especially right now, he's in that bag to where he feels like he doesn't need to mismatch hunt. And we don't got to go through all that. Like it's fine running that offense too. That's cool. But I'm just thinking just from an aggressive standpoint where we don't even have to do that. You know what I mean? Kind of might be kind of like a show of force type thing, but really, I don't think they need to. And on top of that too, I'm just kind of more so coming from I think maybe that's where Ron was coming from. Also, I kind of would like to see that. I would like to see how that showdown goes. But I just don't think they have to mismatch hunt. And mind you, I don't think there's anything wrong with mismatch hunting. Like that's fine if they do want to go after D Mitch and Darius Garland. That's good basketball.
It sounds to me. Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
You got it.
It sounds to me like Ox just looks at Pascal Siakam as a baller. Whoever's standing in front of me, go after him. We don't have to mismatch hunt because I'm that dude for real. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, of course, it sounds great in theory, but a coach wants the best matchup possible. And if I know Rick Carlisle, who doesn't really run a lot of sets and a lot of junk offense goes on with him, he's looking to get the best possible matchup. And if he could get Darius Garland matched on to Pascal Siakam, he's taking that every day. If he could get Donovan Mitchell matched on to Pascal Siakam, 100% go after him. Don't let him off the hook. But to your point, Pascal Siakam being the player that he is, he's looking at, I don't care if Donovan Mitchell's covering me. I don't care if Darius Garland is covering me. I don't care if Evan Mobley is covering me. Whomever is in front of me, I'm going after him.
And you got to expect that they're game planning for that. Like they're scheming for that. When it's like they're whatever their scheme is, it's something like when we inevitably do mismatch hunt for one of those two guys, this is what we're gonna run. Boom, we're gonna throw this on it. We're gonna throw, like you said earlier. When you got a lesser defender on you, that's when the defense is gonna load up. Well, if we know that that's what they're scheming for, I'm gonna make you look right and go left. We're gonna do this instead. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I was saying. I wasn't making a point like, oh, this is expect to see this. I was just throwing it out there like I don't think they have to do that. And once again, that goes for either team. I don't think Evan Mobley and them guys need to do nothing. Evan, that's a good matchup.
Would we say Evan Mobley switch hunts a lot? Or does that more Garland?
That was going on yesterday. That was going on yesterday. He was covering Bam and him and.
Oh yeah, that's different though. Like I'm getting man off me too.
Well, but him and Bam. Are we talking defensively? Where
Evan
Mobley has the ball because really quickly, Mars. When Bam had the ball, they were switching with both Mobley and Allen on the Bam. It wasn't just Mobley specifically covering him. That wasn't his primary matchup.
Yeah, I'm getting Bam off me at all by any means necessary.
For Evan Mobley, but when Evan Mobley does have a switch because of like whatever they do in their pick and roll, whatever. Evan Mobley can punish mismatches, which I think is like one of the biggest
guards. Like if you're
that's the biggest growth for him, I think, from last year. Like last year, he wasn't really punishing those mismatches. This year, like you can't switch.
Man, Evan think he big or something now. Chill. He think he got muscle or something. He be like he'll literally get low ox and then he'll like he'll grit his teeth and get out of here, little fella. I'm just like, bro, you way big, bro. You skinny, dog. Get out of my way.
You've seen him do that a couple of times this season. You've seen him do that going both ways, left and right, where he'll get a little contact in the lane, get a little lower, take one more slow step and go dunk.
He's so long, Ox. Like he's tall, but he's long. Like
focus,
to have arms like that.
6'11", Mars.
Yeah,
focus.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. Now,
he's got a 7'3".
Y'all mind.
He's got a 7'3" wingspan, Mars.
Hey,
I didn't say anything.
But no, you doing too. Ron, by the way, I don't know what's on the agenda today, but I just want it later, like 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock. Hopefully, what you'll do today is do super chats throughout the day, so we don't get a log jam at the end of the show.
We are
but
far behind already.
I know. But listen, we're probably gonna do prize picks in a minute. But listen, I'm saying we have to talk about what Brian Windhorst said about James Harden robbing LeBron of the MVP in 2017-18. I think the revisionist history on James Harden is ridiculous. Like, I legitimately think people are forgetting how good he was that season.
Mars thinks he should have won it 3 years in a row.
They're trying to take away the one MVP.
He's not the only one. He's not the only one.
He's not the only one. 3 years in a row.
He's not the only one.
17, 18, and 19.
He's not the only one.
All right, so before we get into this, we've been known to be called Pin's Choice. We've been known to be called Ticket's Choice, and we've been known to be called Swiper's Choice from time to time. Swiper, we will get into that. But
I've never heard those words used before.
Oh, well, you're gonna see it just here in a second. But before we do that, let's get into the Dub Host pick of the day. We got some money to win, y'all, and we are going to do it right here and right now. Today on PrizePicks, all you guys need to do is download the app, use promo code PANEL, and you will get gifted. And I mean absolutely handed over $50 instantly. Say it with me. $50 instantly when you play just $5 right here on PrizePicks. Now, let me tell you how it works, y'all. First, obviously, you got to download the app. Then you click on the app, and when you click on the app, it's going to give you an area where you can sign up. That's where you use promo code PANEL. You'll use promo code PANEL, and when you play $5, you will get 50 back. And once you get that 50, you simply choose 2 or more players. You'll get their player projections. You choose more or less, and then after you do that, you enter your contest, and then you have an opportunity to win some nice cold hard cash. And we are about to show you guys how to do this right now. Let's get into it, fellas. Chill, Mars, Swiper, Ox.
Jalen Green last.
Mm.
That hit last time when Jordan was trying to tell me not to, but
I just need y'all to really step y'all game up today. All right, it's 2 days in a row y'all let me down.
I mean, tomorrow
my Nick Smith Jr. hit.
I'm 5 and I want PrizePicks.
So did my Giannis Valanciunas, man. Y'all need to step y'all game up.
I mean, everyone knew that Giannis Valanciunas was going to hit. It's Giannis Valanciunas.
You taking goblins every day. It's not the same thing, John D.
Damn, Tumani let us down yesterday. Jalen Duren 3 rebounds.
Terrible.
I mean, it's hard to get rebounds when James Harden don't miss, but you know.
Well, fellas, we got another.
They got Tyrese Halliburton 15.5 points. You want to take that, Ron? Or you didn't? You probably even look.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. I'm looking at it right now. Tyrese Halliburton.
Who the Pacers
They play Atlanta.
It doesn't matter.
They play Atlanta.
Chill. Which you know where you want to go?
Can I take a look at that Celtics Philly line? I want to see what Jason Tatum, what his line looks like against Philly. I think he destroys them.
Chill.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You might want to consider the less. No, I'm not saying because Tatum's not this or not that, but this game might be over at halftime.
He ain't played last night.
Probably.
So
26 and a half points.
You gotta respect the Quentin Grimes. That's what you gotta respect.
And I mean,
what's the
30 and a half.
What's the PRA on him? 43 and a half.
Yep.
I'll take the over. I'll take more on that. I'll take more on that.
Okay. Who? Ron?
Ox, I thought you would never call on me.
I regret it already.
I thought Denver played tonight. God damn it. I was finna go to my patent. But
you talk about the game last night? 24 points again against Keon Ellis. Couldn't stop fouling him all game. You want to talk about that, Ron?
There wasn't nobody fouling that boy.
Another team.
Can we get through this so we can get through this so we can get to that? Can we get through this, please, Ron? As you were saying, Ron. Can we get through this, please? Thank you.
You said Pacers?
Yeah, I think Tyrese Halliburton was brought up.
Yeah, 15 and a half, please.
Let me show you let me show you how to bet on a real baller.
Go lay down.
Oh, yeah, call it down.
Look at that. 15 and a half.
Goblins?
Can you see what the demon is?
Well, let me see what the yeah, we could take 20. We take 20 and a half. 20 and a half works.
Let's chill out, bro. Here you go, Ron.
Nah, I'm gonna go more in his assist.
That was my pick. What you talking about? I pick Halliburton. What you mean?
Oh, this for you?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Dang. That's crazy.
Nah, you got a swiper.
Nah, Ron, you the colonizer. I forgot. You the colonizer is a PC, bro.
All right, give it to him.
What we doing?
Give it to him. What do you want, swiper?
What you want, swiper?
I got
What's Trae Young? What's Trae Young at?
So wait, you don't want Tyrese Halliburton.
Take 10 assists. But what's Trae Young got today?
So you get 2 picks today, swiper?
No, I got 1. He picked Tyrese Halliburton.
Speaking of colonizer,
right?
I told y'all this was gonna turn into swiper's choice.
Okay, what you want me to do, swiper?
Man, I don't know. What's the demon on Trae Young?
What points?
Yeah. Woo, child. What? Hey, now points, rebounds, and assists though. What's that for Trae Young, demon? Man, so what is that? What's that? What is that?
Wow.
27 and
35, 9 and 6.
27 and 24.
35, 9 and 7. There we go.
Basically, he's going 30 and 20.
I'll do that with my own money.
20 and 1.
Give me just the more on the standard for Trae Young points, please.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What are we looking at? We got Jalen Green. Obviously, you guys know what we're doing with 23 and a half less. OG Anunoby, 23 and a half PRA. That's it. Times will go hard for OG, but we going more on that. Jason Tatum, 43 and a half PRA. Chill's going more. And then we got Tyrese Halliburton. Buckets?
Tyrese Halliburton. How about Halliburton, Ron? How about that? Tyrese Halliburton. How you like that?
Tyrese Halliburton. 10 assists. We going more than that. And Trae Young, 25 and a half points. We going more than that. 20 turns into, I think it said 300.
Yep.
Not too bad. Better than 20 turning into 36.
Hey, man, we took that too.
Couldn't even get no cheese
on
the
burger. Sometimes you got to take it light. Just make sure you take it. All right. Let's get into it,
do we know what we're talking about?
No, chill. Show them what they need to do. Take it light, but make sure you take it. And if you want to take it heavy, it's nothing wrong with that either. But either way it goes. Swiper, you wanted to talk about what Brian Windhorst said? Because I'm not too familiar with.
Oh, basically on First Take today, he said that he's been having buyer's remorse. If people don't know, Brian Windhorst, very, very good at his job. So let me obviously say that first. Very, very good at his job. He's one of the best to do it. But he said that he's been having sleepless nights like JJ Redick was trying to guard Jokic the other day. And he basically said that because of the aura of LeBron James, who also he covered in high school and then also followed to the NBA with the Cleveland.
That's how he got to the NBA.
Yep, 100%. He found the right carrot, and
James was Muhammad Ali. He was Howard Cosell. That's what
exactly.
That's what this is right here. But keep going.
He said that he regrets voting for James Harden for MVP in the 2018 season, and he said the longer I've thought about it, the more I've realized how great LeBron James was that season. Also, I want to add this: the power of hindsight. Sure, we got LeBron James in 2018 playoffs. So I think that's also been the big smear on all these people that are saying that they regret their takes, is that they watched LeBron go in the playoffs and have maybe his best run ever, and they were just like, no, should have been him the whole time. But I would just like to remind people.
Yeah.
James Harden that year, chill.
What about 2016 when he took it 4 notches up? The year that SGA, Jokic, and Giannis was better than him during the regular season?
He didn't say Giannis.
Never mind. We can stay in 2018.
Respect Giannis too. But I think that he was great. The NBA Finals was amazing. But that year, James Harden, 30 points a game, 8.8 assists, 5.4 rebounds, shot 53% from 2, which is the best driver in the league. That's pretty spectacular. And the fact that he shot as many pull-ups as he did, 36.7% from 3 on 10 attempts a game in 2017-18, which is massive volume and efficiency. And then he had 85.8% from the free throw line on 10 attempts a game. So just imagine the most ball-dominant player in the NBA on like a plus 7 efficiency that year. And he led the NBA in all the important metrics, win share for 48, all the impact stuff that said how good a player is when they're on the court and all that. He was the best player from all the stuff that I used for all the other MVP stuff for everybody else.
And where did Houston finish that year?
65 wins.
They won in the West.
Right. So they won 65 games that year. They were at the top of the Western Conference the majority of the season. This is the same LeBron James who, and you guys all know that I'm a James guy, but this is the same LeBron James who I vividly remember him coming on TV and saying that we shouldn't be on TV anymore. They limped to the 4th spot in the Eastern Conference that year. He was great. I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, 27, 8, and 7 that year. The roster had gotten flipped twice. It got flipped in the summer, and then it got flipped again at the trade deadline with Isaiah Thomas, and they moved off. They ended up moving off of Kyrie Irving, not Kyrie Irving. Yeah, they ended up moving off of Kyrie Irving. And for a long time, that team was not very good at all. James on the other hand, I felt like James, he shot the long ball. I think he was okay that year. I think he was the best driver in the game in 2018. But he had an elite regular season. James Harden, for all intents and purposes, wasn't that the year that wasn't the 36 a game year?
That was the next year. The year he also deserved to be the MVP.
Okay, so
but we all agree that Windhorst is tripping though. Like this was.
I mean, I think I do agree with Swiper that I think the playoffs in 2018 has probably led to him.
Oh, excuse a lot of people
that LeBron deserved the MVP in the regular season. But yeah, I think James Harden was the best regular season performer that year. I'm not gonna say I don't think it was close, but I'm comfortable in saying I think it was James Harden. Like I understand how well LeBron played in that regular season.
Mars, if James Harden was if on a scale from 1 to 10, what was James Harden that season?
Historically?
Just that season, on a scale from 1 to 10 in your estimation, what was James Harden that season? On a scale from 1 to 10.
Like a 9.3.
So he was a 9 at minimum. Yeah. What was James that year?
Like a 9 flat. 8.9.
So that doesn't really sound like there's much of a gap.
Yeah, but it's comfortable.
Because I was thinking you was gonna tell me like a 7 or something.
No,
like
well, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
It's the growth isn't linear. 8.9 to 9.3. It sounds like it's only.
But Mar, this is
a big gap.
This is my contention though, and I've said this repeatedly.
Right.
That's my whole thing with. I'm never going to change my in terms of like it'll get better, but the process that I use for determining MVP stuff is always going to be consistent. That's why I'm so big on Jordan losing to Malone, because that same year, the same stuff I'm reading off now, the same impact stuff, it was still Jordan, but Malone won it because he won in the West. That's what I'm saying, and I think in that year Harden also won all the same traditional stuff that I would say for MVP. Harden won that year. He was incredible that season, and I think that. There's just this association with Harden because of the ball dominant stuff. Like the fact that you were in the fact that he was able to play that way and win 65 games, I think for me, it's just like
in a nightmare Western Conference, by the way.
Yeah, it's 1-1.
I mean, the best team ever was in his conference.
Yeah.
And he led a better offense. He led a better offense that year than the Golden State Warriors. At least I believe he did.
They were the number one offense. On paper. Yeah, statistically on paper, offensive rating regular season. Yes, the Rockets were the number.
We have to stop. We have to stop doing that, guys, with the on paper stuff. This is my production. This is what I produced. So
we
on
can't
paper,
stop doing that, chill.
Your
numbers could be higher against everybody else, but if my offense is still better than yours,
you might have better players, but this is what we produced, though, Ox. This is what I did against what you did. We have to stop saying on paper. No, this is what
on paper. Yeah, that's on paper. It is on paper.
So
you don't think the Rockets? Do you think the Rockets' offense is better than the Golden State Warriors' offense?
Not in 17. I don't.
Dang. So
that's what I'm saying.
18, which was the year that we're talking about. Yes. 18, which is the year that we're talking about. Now that's different.
1.3 point difference,
right?
Though, so.
That I think that's different. Now I do think that the Golden State Warriors had much better players. I won't argue that. No, I will not argue that. And I'm on record. I think it was it 17 that I said that if Andre Iguodala had not gotten hurt, they would have made quick work of Houston. They would have made quick work.
That was 18. He got hurt.
Yeah, they would have made quick work. Had he not gotten hurt, they would have been gone. No question in my mind. I think that they would have been gone. But that year, what James Harden was doing as an individual offensive machine, as much as James was responsible for a lot of the offense and what was going on in Cleveland, because he was basically there. He was basically everything for them on both offense and defense. He was everything for them. But what James Harden was for Houston, in order for them to win 65 games, I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, I think that season he had over 600 dribbles, something crazy like that. He was handling the basketball that much. Yes, he was that good.
Isolation every year.
Right. I think he's leading the league in isolation today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He does. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. But yeah, he was my MVP. So.
Ron, I don't know where you wanted to go next, but just real quick before you do that, Ron, I just want to make a quick shout out. LeBron James is doing historical things, setting records, and it's amazing. Shout out to LeBron James. Keep setting the bar high. You are a GOAT. But I just want to make sure that we're not forgetting that there's another guy in sports that's chasing an incredible landmark too. Alexander Ovechkin is 9 goals behind Wayne Gretzky, y'all. So
that's crazy.
Y'all just y'all keep an eye out for Alexander Ovechkin, man. He really doing this thing because I mean he's old too, y'all. He out here playing hockey. So
yeah.
OV.
Now he's not gonna catch the points, but like total point, that goals record is crazy.
Goals.
Yeah, goals is crazy, bro. I mean, that's a lot. That's crazy. Like the fact he's good
9 away from Gretzky.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy.
Shout out to him.
I was gonna say Al Horford.
I really thought you were saying Al Horford too.
I thought you was gonna say Al Horford.
But speaking of somebody,
I still love the Al every day.
Speaking of somebody who's been good for very, very long, we actually were just talking about him, and he actually turned the clocks back and gave us 50 points last night in a win. James Harden getting back to his MVP ways. Y'all seen this?
I thought,
yeah.
I mean,
50 piece.
It wasn't like a James Harden 50, but it was a good 50. It was a good 50.
It wasn't a James Harden 50.
I was about to say,
it wasn't like the same ease. It was like an old man 50. It was a solid old man 50.
Well, yeah, because we all moving like we was 7 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're
James
not
Harden
moving as well.
Always had an old man game though. He's always had a slower, more methodical.
Bro, he threw the ball past Cade Cunningham. Cade didn't even realize it. He did left-handed. Cade didn't realize the ball was in the shooter's pocket until the shooter caught the ball. Like James was driving, did that little thing he does, and then he just like threw it out of nowhere. And then Cade like had the slowest reaction time ever that was made 3. But he played really well.
When James Harden gets it going like that, it's impossible to deal with him, and he just makes everything so much more difficult for everybody else. Cade Cunningham ain't a bad defender. I want to be clear on that. And on top of that, Asor Thompson was his matchup last night, and he was busting Asor Thompson's ass.
Hey man, that's been a common theme lately.
Yes, he has.
Jamal Murray. Is that what that was? Malik Beasley said it was easy to guard James Harden.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you post that.
Malik Beasley said it was easy to guard James Harden. It didn't look easy last night.
No,
it did not look easy last night.
It's crazy. God, James Harden is easy, man, because like he just be dribbling in front of you. Like if you reach, then you cooked. But if you don't reach and you just stay in front of him, he easy to guard. First play, he's on James Harden. He reaches and fouls him on the 3. I was like, yeah. Like, shut up.
Get your hands out the cookie door.
Right. So, yeah, just don't reach. And first play, he reaches. Clown.
Yo, but Mark is
having a great season. Shout out to him.
That he just because it's easy to guard somebody don't mean it's easy to stop him from scoring. You know what I mean? Like it could be easy to guard you just because I know what you're gonna do. Like it's easy for me to, I don't gotta think much. I know what you're about to do.
I'm gonna be there on every shot you make over me.
Right. So it's easy for me to guard you. I'm gonna get cooked. It's not easy for me to stop you, but I know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shit is easy. But I'm getting my head I'm getting torched.
That shit sound like a boxer. I know the jab is coming. I'm steady getting punched in the face though.
But chill. A lot of times you know that jab's coming.
Chill. It used to be real easy to fight Mike Tyson. I know what's finna happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be knocked the fuck out in about 5 minutes.
Same thing with Tim Duncan. I know that the jump hook is coming. I just can't stop it. It's easy to stay in front of it. It's easy to get a hand up on Tim Duncan, but I just can't stop it.
Well, I mean, in the chat, you think it sounds stupid because you wouldn't understand. You know what I'm saying? He probably never had to guard an elite talent before. Like my point when I was saying before, I think there was a point where it was easier to guard Steph than it was easier to guard Kyrie Irving, but Steph's still finna give me 30-something. I know what Steph gonna do. I have no idea what Kyrie's gonna do, and Steph Curry's still better.
I think the trigger word here, Ox, is easy. I think that they would be more comfortable with less difficult. It's less. I'm not trying
to make them comfortable. Chill. I'm trying to learn them something. And you need to open your mind and soak it up and stop being so damn combative.
It's less difficult to deal with Steph Curry than it is to deal with Kyrie Irving because those punches are coming from everywhere with Kyrie Irving. With Steph Curry, I mean, I don't have to do as much. I still got to do a lot to deal with Steph Curry, but I don't have to do as much to combat dealing with Steph Curry as I have to do with Kyrie Irving.
I'm 100% stand on that. We've had that conversation before. I think it was easier to guard Steph Curry than it was to guard Kyrie Irving, but I'm still about to Steph's still going to give me more.
Maybe this isn't a big topic, but I'd rather guard Kyrie. I'd rather guard Kyrie.
Of course, I'd rather guard Kyrie.
I'm going to be chasing Steph around the entire floor. I'm going to be gassed.
Hell no, we just switch them screens. That's easy. I don't worry about that,
bro.
Switch.
Like on Kyrie, I could just, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Just, but
yeah, see how that works. Okay.
And to your point, Chill. Yes, easier doesn't mean easy. You know what I'm saying? Easier don't mean easy.
Well, Malik Beasley said easy, so
got fried.
You
think it's easy to cover me? Okay, let's get to the bottom of that right now.
Non-great defender saying that too.
Yeah, let's deal with that right now. Let's get to the bottom of you saying that it's easy to cover me. You think so? Okay.
Where was he at when he said this? Where was he at?
He was on a stream with someone on
he was on a stream with Neon.
Yeah. Was that the stream where he was like, all right, now that this is done, let's light up?
Yeah.
What exactly?
He was already capping.
So Mars, what exactly did he say? If you recall, what exactly?
Where's the gas?
The clip I seen, because I'm not gonna act like I watched the whole.
But the clip you saw, what exactly did you?
The clip I seen, the person he was streaming with said, "Who's the hardest players you had to guard?" And then Malik Beasley said Steph and Clay. Yeah. And then the streamer said, "My favorite player is James Harden." And then Malik Beasley, with no hesitation, said, "Oh, James easy to guard." That's what he said.
Word for word. James is easy.
And then he realized he said some foolishness. He's like, maybe not easy, but he's easier to guard than Stephen Clay. And he went to the chasing around screens point. Oh, that's different. And then he was like, with James, you just have to sit there. If you reach, then James gonna be good. But if you don't reach and you just sit there and you play his moves, you're gonna be fine. Shut up.
Let me clarify about this. This streamer is known to have a lot of women in his streams. He's probably just like yapping. He's probably just yapping his tail off around the females, trying to sound like cooler than what he actually is. You know what I'm saying? But you never know, man. I think he was just
even know who James Harden is. Oh, he said James Harden easy to guard. Who I like him. Like
everybody knows. Everybody knows James Harden.
But you got
not everyone.
Not even.
Unfortunately,
them girls.
If these are the women that I'm thinking of, they know James Harden.
Them girls.
They done been in Houston, in Atlanta, in Vegas, in LA. Like they know.
Very well aware. But shout out to Malik Beasley, man. Maybe his experience is it's easier to guard James Harden because he was probably guarding PJ Tucker in the corner while James Harden was frying his teammates. So he was like, yeah, it ain't that difficult for me. So that's probably what it was.
But yeah, shout out to James Harden for that 50 piece last night.
Yeah, hey, when I'm watching from my vantage point of PJ Tucker, hey, it ain't that difficult. It just got up.
That's what I'm saying. Listen to what he's saying, bro. It's easy for me to guard somebody y'all don't got to guard.
Exactly. Yeah. I got him, Malik. Yeah, I got him, Malik. My fault.
Yeah, he was cooking.
From the
shout out to James Harden for that 50 piece, and also
hang on for a second, Ron. Hang on for 1 second, Ron. Let's get to the bottom of this right now. Let's see.
He found the clip.
The hardest player I ever had to guard was probably the Stephen Currys or the Klay Thompsons, or like
my favorite player of all time is James Harden.
Your favorite player of all time is James Harden.
Yeah,
he's easy to guard.
Hey, wait, whoa.
Look, they in the back.
Whoa, don't bait this viral. Hold on now. The hardest player I ever had to guard was probably the Stephen Currys or the Klay Thompsons.
That's how Malik Beasley talked?
Yeah, he said exactly what you just said, Mars. He's easy to guard. He said that.
My man. Every time he's in the news for something, they got nothing to do with hoops. That's a good take, bro. Every single time, dog.
I mean, we can't say it's a bad take. He's saying his experience, James Harden, easy to guard. I mean,
okay, well, no. This is the thing.
Everyone's experience is different. Maybe James Harden had an off night when he was guarding him that one time. He's like, hey,
where did Malik Beasley get drafted?
Where did
Denver, Florida State.
Denver.
Oh,
and do you realize I saw him play versus those Houston Rockets team? He was supposed to be a defensive specialist. I remember. I'll just say
you had Gary Harris. Gary Harris take that responsibility.
Okay, yeah, Malik was in the game too.
Gary Harris was out.
But who would you rather have take that responsibility? Exactly.
Gary.
Okay, so Malik was just like, hey, you got it. But like I always say, I'm never gonna dismiss players' experiences. If he genuinely thinks it was easy to guard James Harden, then he's entitled to what he found easier. That's cool.
Dude,
I just find it very funny that his methodology for why it was easy to guard James Harden, he abandoned all principles the first time he had to guard him. That's the only thing I find funny. Maybe he does actually find it easy to guard James Harden. That's cool. Like that's his experience. I can't diminish someone's actual experience playing basketball. But what I can do is when you tell me the way to guard James Harden is to not reach and to wait for him to attack you instead of forcing the issue. And then the first play you guard him, you reach twice and foul him on a 3. I'm gonna find that funny. I'm sorry, I'm gonna find that funny. Like, should have took your own advice, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, shout out to James Harden for that 50 piece last night. The Clippers desperately needed it because they had lost
a bloodbath.
6 of their last 7, and also in their last 14 games, they went on 3 different 3-game losing streaks.
It's terrible right now. It's terrible. It's hard out here, Swiper. It's hard out here.
They lost 6 of their last 7.
Yeah, and they went on 3 different 3-game losing streaks in their last 14 games. So shout out to the Clippers. They're back on the right path, I suppose. Still the 9th seed, but we'll see how they finish the season out.
Man, 9th. I mean,
or 8th.
What are y'all right now?
They're the AC, man. We really needed that one last night, Swiper. Man.
Are y'all the 10th seed right now?
Yeah, no, we're the 9th seed. The Clippers are the 8th seed now. We were, and we needed that one.
Yeah,
people were texting me.
I mean, it's how it happens, man. That's I mean, I can't pretend like I believe that we're a better team than the Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that, but we went out there and competed. No Malik, no DeMontis. You know what I'm saying? So we tried to go steal one, but
still.
I mean, I have the chain in your hand.
In the first quarter, Nuggets were like, I'm telling you, Doug Christie, bro, man, he's doing great. Yeah, man, I'm telling y'all, I don't know we don't like to have like nuanced basketball discussions all the time. I understand that. Agenda, clip farm, or farm. I get it. But definitely need to talk about that defense. People been throwing.
Stop! Whoa! Stop right there. No, you're not going to do that, Swipe. Because in fact, we are one of the few basketball shows that actually talk basketball and have basketball conversations. Don't put us in the realm.
Yeah, but if I say it, it's going to turn into a clip, and it's like you're glazing.
The reason that is because for whatever reason, you become the king of nuance when it's time to explain the Nuggets being trash.
I covered the team. I don't know what to tell you.
We covered 29 teams. We covered 29 teams.
Look at what's happening. Look at what you started. Look at what you started. This is all I'm saying. I just said an objective thing. That's all I said. Literally, Rob be like, say that again. Say it again. I mean, I just saying, like, you know what I mean? But look, I love talking nuance. I'll leave it at that. Whatever y'all want to talk nuance, just let me know.
What were you going to say about Doug Christie, Swiper?
He's a great coach. I was going to give him props. But then Mars started glazing like he normally does. I'm saying Doug Christie deserves credit for taking an injured team yesterday and showing up like they did and having a very good defensive game plan ready to go. Great one ready to go. And then also, too, they didn't have the stuff they needed, so they just did DeMar DeRozan, which he does. Also, he's one of the best ISO defenders in the league this year. Just mismatch hunt, and it worked. Second half it worked especially. First half not as much, but y'all making shot. Jake LaRavia, by the way, 11 points in 3 minutes, basically. Like,
shout out to Jake.
Yeah, he went crazy.
He been nice. Yeah, he been nice.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Porter, Michael MPJ. I mean, for all intents and purposes, his shot it looks like it's gone. I don't know exactly what's going on with him right now. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll get it back together. I think 5 of the last 6 games that he's played, I think he's like 7 for 35 on a long ball, something like that. Yeah, I mean, he went 1 for 7 last night. He's still getting good quality shots, and I thought he got good shots last night against. I thought he got good quality shots last night against Sacramento, but maybe it's just the variance with him. Maybe it's just the variance with him.
He had an injury, so I think he's been coming back from that a little bit. But he was driving really well yesterday. Like,
you're a predominant jump shooter. You're gonna have stretches where you can't throw anything in the ocean. It just happens. That's life. The bigger issue is that now everyone seems to be adopting the same game plan against the Nuggets. Maybe like adding their own wrinkles in there based on their personnel.
Sure.
Yeah.
But similar game plan of let's just not let the best player in the world touch the ball, and let's not worry about these guys who really aren't that good offensively. And let's see what they can do. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys don't have anyone on your roster who I trust to throw an entry pass consistently, and I think that's a problem.
Which is nuts to me because they got Russell Westbrook.
If teams are fronting Jokic with a 6'8" defender, it shouldn't be that hard to throw an entry. It really shouldn't be that hard. Like I understand they're rotating over from the backside as well. But Jokic has one of the best catch radiuses in the NBA, some of the softest hands. Like, you've got to be able to get him the ball. Like, it shouldn't be this difficult to get the guy the ball, in my opinion. But maybe now.
I feel like Ox is a big can speak to that. It's and Ron as a guard, like it's just throwing the ball over the top, and then also including like the angles, how many people are there, the jumping ability of said player in front or behind. And then on top of that, how physical you're allowed to play with bigs. I mean, Ox knows because he's the biggest out of all of us. I think sometimes it just takes I think it could be pressure. It feels like you don't want to turn the ball over because you throw the ball in the middle of the court and you turn the ball over. It's a transition because you already got numbers. You know what I mean? So I think it's like the gamble of doing that. But Ron can speak to that too because obviously he was the one passing the ball to people. So
if I'm playing with a big like Joker, my priority is to get him the ball, even as a 2 guard. I'm looking for him primarily. And if Joker is fronting, if Joker has Rui in front of him, my first thought is I'm seeing where the weak side help is. How far is the weak side help? How close is the weak side help? That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. That's number one. Number two, when he's on the box and he's asking for the ball, where is he asking for the ball? Is he asking for the ball down here? Is he asking for the ball up here? I fire it in right to him?
When he's being fronted.
So in front of the first thing I'm looking at is the weak side defense. How far away are they? And how and who is it on the weak side? Is it Vando, for example? So Vando at 6'9", if I gotta lob it into Joker over over Rui, well, Vando's a really good weak side defender. So I gotta be conscious of how far Vando is away from him and how quickly he can get the Joker if I'm lobbing it over the top or the defense to him. If there's somebody smaller, that's a little bit different because I can get it in the high to Joker, who is a big man, who'll keep it up top and he'll just go to the rim.
But chill, as Ox saw yesterday though. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying that if I'm getting fronted and the weak side help is in position to deter the guard from passing me the ball, that's not my fault. That's your 3. That's you 3. Y'all got to move.
You gonna occupy the help. Y'all
got to move. You can't just stand there and watch me get doubled on the block. You know what I'm saying? Also, I need to get a little deeper, and they need to space out more. You know what I mean?
But you saw what y'all did a good job yesterday. The same thing as the Lakers. Y'all were pushing them out, like pushing them off the spot, like never letting him settle through.
Jokic just letting that happen. His big ass.
He's strong enough to where they.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like I think
only Giannis should be able to move him anyway.
And
but I think it's the threat of the offensive foul, though. I think that is the issue because it's like, Ox, if you got a little dude on you, like, it's hard. You don't get the benefit.
We can't worry about that though, Spot. But to Chill's point, you have to get this man the ball. You know what I'm saying? You have to get this man the ball, and we have to make it a point to get him the ball. So with that being said, all these other guys, MPJ, Watson, whoever else is on the court, whether it's Brown, whoever, you can't stand and watch while I'm getting doubled on the block. You have to move, make yourself a threat some way, whether it's cutting. Either way, especially in the NBA, and especially in this NBA. There is no excuse for me to be, Jokic. There's no reason for Jokic to be comfortably fronted on the block with weak side help to where we can't get him the ball. That's on the team. That's not even on Jokic. It's not even on the person trying to make the entry pass. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to space out, quick swing. Now rotate when the defense rotates. Now I'm open right there. Now
so coaching point. What would you do then? Like. Because they did it to Christian in the third quarter too, but in the first quarter it was Russ. They were just like, we're 6 feet off, and we're fronting Val with Val. Jake LaRavia is the one that's like on the, and then weak side is like DeRozan or whoever else. I guess even in Christian Brown, y'all started going under the screen because you just were saying we're going to have 3 at all times on Joker.
That's your point right there, Swipe. But you just said it. If DeRozan is on the weak side, I'm getting the ball in the Joker.
DeRozan can't stop that.
It's hard when you have someone behind Jokic and you have the biggest guy on the court fronting him.
Now, if he's fronting him, Mars, okay, sure. And that's where Joker comes in, where he pushes him up the lane a little bit more. He doesn't have to just sit there with the guy standing in front of him. He pushes whomever is covering Joker. So if Valanciunas is covering Joker, you push Valanciunas up the lane a little bit. If DeRozan is on the weak side, I'm lobbing the ball I'm lobbing the ball over the head of Valanciunas, and now that leaves Joker on the DeRozan. I'm getting Joker the basketball. There's no way we're going 2-3 trips where he doesn't touch the ball, especially when he's getting fronted in the post. No, we're gonna figure that out.
Especially how quick Jokic makes decisions and how deceptively quick his feet move. You getting that ball right over the top of J-Val, and is DeMar DeRozan right there?
He's spinning and finishing instantly.
Exactly. Yeah. That's such an easy bucket. He works so quick right there. And you know what? Jokic has to make it a point whenever it is to let them know, but throw the ball in here. I don't care what you see. I'm giving you my hand. Drop it in here. You know what I'm saying?
There was one play in the first, maybe it was the first quarter, maybe the second quarter. I think Swiper might remember it. They did throw it over the top, but the pass ended up with Jokic so far underneath the basket. They ended up getting a turnover. It's very hard. It's hard to make these These are like John Stockton passes. They
have to be pinpoint passes.
These are, and the only guy on the roster who I think is an accurate enough passer to do so is Russell Westbrook.
Well, I think Jamal's gotten a lot. He's gotten really good at those entry passes. But I think that's the problem though. Like when I think to Ox's point to chill, I think functionally what's happening is what they did in the second half though, which I think they're going to do more. They started running Jokic at the nail and they ran a pick and roll for the purpose of getting the switch with Murray and then getting the double off top. That way, Jokic is up high, you can't double low. So therefore, the court is mapped out differently. They got to back cut the Christian Brown. They were getting more corner threes. But now, if you double off top, which is what you're going to do, now Murray's there one pass away, and he can make another decision. And I think that was the second half of Jessica. The first half, they sucked. Defensively, they were terrible in the first half. Same thing with the Boston game. They were elite in the second half. A lot of that's Zeke Naji. We'll talk about him at some point. But I think the issue with what the Nuggets are doing right now, I think that they're slow playing their hand a little bit, but I also do think them getting this thrown at them. And Malone said after the game, Michael Malone said, teams are going to guard. They're not guarding anybody else but 15. So we're going to have to figure it out. And so the whole team knows it. Russell Westbrook said he wants to accept the challenge. The whole team does. Everybody knows that going forward, this is the coverage that they are going to see. So they'll obviously have to come up with adjustments. But that's why I said Doug Christie. I think he had a great job. I don't know why the Pacers didn't do this. I don't know why Detroit didn't do this. I don't think
Eastern Conference teams are bothered with having the Jokic rules. They're not going to.
Well, the Celtics did it though. They
the Jokic rules.
Sure.
The Pacers and the Pistons rules. For all intents and purposes, the Pacers and the Pistons aren't going to see the Nuggets this offseason. The Celtics, they might. The Celtics, they might. The Cavs, they might. The Western Conference teams, they feel they will. So I think that's probably why they're probably making it a priority and an emphasis to do what they're doing against the Nuggets, whereas a team like the Pacers probably isn't. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna keep saying it because I don't think anything's gonna change. I do think there are adjustments to be made, like Jokic getting the ball in different spots of the floor, particularly around the free throw line, just so you can have the spacing different. But at some point, it's going to be just as simple as if there's 3 players on the court that the teams don't respect, that's not a tenable situation.
That is a problem.
Viable. It can't be we don't care about Russell Westbrook. We don't care about Christian Brown. We don't care about Peyton Watson. We don't care about who's the other non-shooter?
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon. We don't care about him. Unless Aaron Gordon's in the dunker spot, we don't care. We just don't care about any of these guys.
Jamal Murray.
That's not viable. That's not viable. And Michael Porter Jr., we can face guard him. It's the moment he puts the ball on the floor, we ain't worried about him either. So it's
well, he has to stop doing what he's doing, which is bricking, which again, variant, but he has to make his shots because that was also a part of that first half yesterday too. But again, some of this is also too the Nuggets just gotta not be dumb. Playing Russ and Brown, it's just in the playoffs, they're gonna have to find different.
Great super chat.
What's super chat? What's it say?
Try fronting Shaq. Average Joe said, try fronting Shaq, Robinson, dream like this. This is a steal, one swing, and a lob to the rim. Lack of vertical ability is also why this is working.
No, hold on, time out, Mark. Let me correct this. Let me correct this a little bit.
Because we might say partially, sure, maybe. Yeah. The biggest difference, you front Shaq, David Robinson, etc. Yeah, they can still. The difference is you couldn't pre-rotate the help on the backside. You couldn't do that. That wasn't allowed. So the reason why you could swing the pass to the top and then you had the lob available to you is because the help couldn't be preloaded to the backside of David Robinson, Shaq, Patrick Ewing. So it made the passing angle exist. That doesn't exist with centers like Jokic. You could do the same thing with a healthy Joel Embiid. If the help is pre-rotated, you don't have the angle for the lob. So the reason you could just make one swing to the top of the key and then you had a lob, which was like, that was a very big play that the Spurs had a lot. The Spurs went to that lot. The reason that was possible is because of the rules of defense at the time that didn't allow you to pre-rotate your help that you can do today. So it's not just, Jokic can't catch lobs. Like,
but I mean, still more. Even with that being said, when you swing it this way and you attack that man, they still have to step up. And if you're a lob threat, it's still going to be there. It might take you one extra step. Well, now, but that lob threat is still there.
It depends on who's.
But I feel like this is a little bit of like we're jumping ahead of the cart, because I wanted to note this anyway. The two things I brought up were the 2000 run with Shaq, with Kobe Bryant, and then the rest of that roster, and then the 88 run in particular with Jordan, with the Jordan rules. Chill, how many years did it take for Michael Jordan to actually figure out how to beat that Detroit Pistons team? Do you remember?
When did he go crying to the refs about flagrant fouls? When was that?
That was 90. So that was 89 going into 90.
It was actually 89. That was when it happened. But I mean, I think we're getting away from. I mean,
what you all going to say? It took 4 years.
Sure, 100%
for Jordan to actually get past the Pistons with their particular rules. So I think this is such a short sample size of games, and so I think they'll figure this out over time. But I just think people are rushing to be like, why isn't he doing this? And I just think it's going to take time. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, to your point, I think we're leaving out. I mean, the Nuggets won yesterday. They're tied for second in the Western Conference. That's number one. Number two, to Shaq's point, first of all, he was in a completely different offense. There was way more action in the triangle. Not only was there way more action in the triangle, he did have floor spaces in Robert Horry. He had floor spaces in Bryant Shaw. He had guys who can knock down the long ball. So today,
and
right,
was just better.
And also Derek Fisher, right? And Shaq was extremely strong, where he made space where space wasn't there. He actually made space, and he made you see him in terms of. It's kind of like Swiper can appreciate this as a football guy, like throwing guys open. That's exactly what Shaq would do in terms of making space, where he would make himself bigger, where it didn't look like he was open. Well, now he is open just because he made space. But I mean, I can't get, and I appreciate your logic, Mars, that the Nuggets are going to be challenged for those other guys to make shots. I can definitely appreciate that. But when you have a guy like Joker, who is as good as he is, if we can keep games close, I'm pretty confident. I know the game has changed, but I'm pretty confident that if we could keep games close, I can rely on the best player in the league to close games for us. I can rely on that.
That's just magically keep games close.
Yes, I was gonna say
you don't just spawn in the fourth quarter, 5 minutes to go to one possession game. You have to get to that point. How do the Nuggets keep games close when teams aren't going to guard 3 players on the court at a time?
By Mars, quick, John D, then please go by loading up on their defenders. I think they have to change what they're doing. Like you have to be a defensively inclined team with the lack of shooters. At this point, they have more wing defenders than they have shooters. So that should change their philosophy a little bit. Go ahead, John D.
I just think on top of them not having a lot of floor spacing consistently, whether it's Aaron Gordon and Russ on the floor or Christian Brown and Peyton Watson, they also don't shoot a lot of threes. So if there's a team that's like, okay, now we're going to catch fire from 3, and that happens maybe 2 or 3 times in a series, and now you're down like 3-2 going back to your opposing team's home floor, that could be very dangerous because you can load up on Jokic and you're not going to be worried about Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon can go 1 for 7. Christian Brown can go 0 for 4. While let's say Buddy Hield has a night where he goes 4 for 6, or Steph has a night where he goes 6 for 9.
Buddy Hield being the first name is crazy, by the way. So.
I'm just throwing names out there. But I'm just saying, like, that's something that could be really dangerous. And it's like I understand having Jokic and being able to have a player that can maximize the offense as best as they possibly can, but if it's still a really hard task to fulfill if there are 2 or 3 guys on the floor that just aren't going to get any respect. Like, teams are actively letting Russell Westbrook do whatever he wants without the ball on the perimeter. They're actively letting Aaron Gordon do whatever he wants. Like, against the Lakers, I saw him take a sidestep mid-range. We clap at that.
You what?
Say again?
We applaud that swiper focus. We applaud that swiper focus. But
I agree with
point,
the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was finished.
To John D, to your point, I think the Nuggets today, I think they're last in the league in attempts at the long ball line. They're second to last in the league at makes at the long ball line, right? So, when you're playing against a team like that, when you're playing against a team like that, I feel like at some point these guys have to, right? I feel like at some point these guys, I don't know, Mars is a big component of guys not magically making shots. But we've seen these guys I've seen Aaron Gordon make shots, right? I've seen Jamal Murray make shots. I've seen
Jamal's a different player. They're guarding Jamal differently.
Jamal's got a problem.
But I've seen Michael
if
Porter
your
Jr.
solution to win is pray that my bad shooters make shots, that's a bad solution to win.
I don't know about
really
praying. It is Lent, but I'm not sure about praying.
They were going under the screen on Brown. For the first time this year, I saw a team intentionally for an entire quarter going under screens for Christian Brown. And I'm saying like that's a problem. Like that you've reached critical mass at this point. Like teams are like they don't care. Go ahead, John D.
Yeah.
So I heard something where they said have Jokic run inverted pick and rolls on the perimeter with Aaron Gordon to keep him off the perimeter. Have him roll into the basket. Have guys like MPJ and Michael Porter, MPJ,
anyway?
Murray, and Christian Brown on the perimeter.
Anyway?
I'm just saying, doing that a little bit more to get him to the middle of the floor a little bit more, and to have Aaron Gordon be really.
Well, they did that with Murray yesterday.
Perimeter. So I don't think that's the worst idea, especially if like you're going to get a switch on maybe a smaller defender with Aaron Gordon setting the screen. He's going to be cut into the basket a lot more instead of just sitting on the corner. And you still have guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray on perimeter that can make shots. And then Christian Brown, out of the three of Russell Westbrook, him and Aaron Gordon, I would trust him the most from three.
This sounds like we're dealing with
not just play drop against that pick and roll.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Well, they don't. No, so to be fair, Mars, they don't play drop versus Jokic anymore as the ball handler. Because that's how afraid people are of that 3-point shot now. So
in the playoffs, I'm fairly confident.
But again, that's gonna really be determined by what happens in the first round. If Jokic is still making his threes in the first round, he will not see drop. Because remember, Jokic is not just simply a drop 3-point shooter. Jokic is a drop. And he forces the switch in drop. Because what happens is Murray then will push the player, both of them even, into the paint, and then Joker will then drive off the backside of Murray to force a switch or force an angle. So like Jokic is gonna create like a problem for you.
But he was my Aaron Gordon inverted pick and roll, not Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
So if that means you got your bigger wing and you got the big involved.
Well, but again, they're trying to when they're doing the inverted pick and roll with Gordon, they're trying to get the big back on the Joker because the big's on Gordon in that situation.
Yeah,
like they're trying to get the center back up here. Yeah,
we still have
fellas, two things.
Ahead, Ron.
First off, shout out to us having a nuanced conversation. Who would have thought? We talk about the Nuggets in Jokic. All of a sudden, it's a nuanced conversation.
No agenda. It's no agenda. It's just good hoop.
Second off. Well, it is about to be an agenda. Because second off, I want to shout out to Russell Westbrook. We've got this far into the game or into this conversation, and we haven't shouted out Russell Westbrook for having an amazing game last night, scoring 25, shooting the three well, and obviously the defense is going to play Russ like Russ, no matter even if he goes 6 for 6 from three. I do believe, and I've said this before, I'm not saying run the offense through Russell Westbrook, but if he is your initiator, that helps you guys a lot. Because the defense has to respect Russ with the ball.
The first play, he was the initiator. Jonas Valanciunas let him shoot an elbow jumper.
I'm not saying
that's always the game plan with him, though.
Yeah, I think it is, but with his ability to get downhill and with his ability to obviously pass and find people, that opens up the game for everybody. It takes a little bit of pressure off of Jokic, but it also allows Jokic to secondary play make off of Russ. Russ essentially gets hockey assists. So now I get Jokic the ball in a more favorable place.
Well,
the defense is already scrambled.
Well, Mars, the thing they've taken away the Russ Jokic pick and roll. So like that's also been the same thing on the team the last weekend too, because Russ isn't a threat. They're not leaving Joker. They're giving Jokic.
I mean, we can
Russ
still run it.
But the thing is, Russ, what's happening now is Russ having to run off the hip of both defenders for a layup, and they're saying that we're going to show and hope and basically still cover up the rim as much as possible. But like, we're not leaving Joker. You're not getting an easy.
We're not going to play drop. We're not going to play drop.
And yeah, 100%. That's been the difference. Now again, Russ yesterday, when he started turning up, when he started driving, he started making his layups, and then his jumper found his place. Defensively, he was very good yesterday as well. So I want to also mention this because you brought up Russ. Zeke Naji, if you don't know who that is, the last 6 weeks he's been arguably the best defender on the roster, especially with Peyton Watson not being there. Zeke Naji helped change the game yesterday. Like,
yeah, so why are you still against him starting?
No, because that's not how the NBA works. No, you're
not starting. You're not starting.
You're not starting. No, he's not. You're not starting over a $30 million a year player. That's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Forget the politics of the situation.
No, he's not better than Aaron.
Why should he not be starting?
Because he's not better than Aaron Gordon. Like,
why can't they? But why can't they both start?
Plus,
over Michael Porter.
Here's my thing, right? Because you said
here you go. Here we go. Let's get it.
You said the solution to what teams are doing against Denver is to load up on your defense. And I agree. Because if you're quote unquote offensive players aren't being guarded like offensive players, why not just try to get your best defensive lineups out there? Jamal Murray has to start, Jokic has to start, obviously. Aaron Gordon, in my opinion, has not been a good defender this year.
No, I
don't know how you feel about it. He has not been a good defender this year. Zeke Naji, in my opinion, from what I've seen, has been really, really good defensively. His rim protection has been valuable. His switchability has been valuable. Those are two skill sets that I think your roster is missing. Me personally, I understand the politics of the situation. I would definitely start him over Aaron Gordon, personally. But
this is the same Najee Marshall. This the same
Zeke, who was atrocious last year. Yes,
that's what I was about to say. This is the same Zeke Najee who played himself. Who played himself out of the rotation last year. Now you want to start him over Aaron Gordon.
Well, he got hurt last year. He was playing well, then got hurt, and then 2 years ago playing well, got hurt.
Same thing happened with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon that got hurt. He played himself back into the lineup, and now we've seen Aaron Gordon be a damn good defender. We've seen Aaron Gordon. Okay, not this year. We haven't. So is this a year-to-year thing? Is that what we know?
No. So
I mean, if you want to win, yeah, I think it should be about just,
point.
I like you, Aaron Gordon, but now
what's happening is every team has realized that the best way to score in the Nuggets, if they're playing at the level, is to get Aaron Gordon away from the rim. So they will take Aaron Gordon out of the low man, have him play up high, and then they'll have Porter or Brown as the low man. So then Aaron Gordon's basically his best asset right now is nullified, which is the rim protection stuff. So to Mars's point, I think they can absolutely do lineups where Peyton Watson and Zeke and whatever's on the court. But the issue is, Chill, you have to defend. You can't have these mental errors like they did in the first half.
I get that.
Because they're not going to score. You're not scoring at a high level with that lineup. So you have to defend. And they did that. They can do that for stretches, Mars, but I just don't think that's sustainable. Porter, for all intents and purposes, Mars, Porter is the third most important player on the roster just by the fact of his gravity offensively. They're still throwing 1 to 2 defenders at him every single possession. Him making the shot is a different story.
Right.
Like him working off that action consistently, it's a different story. But because he's out there, you can't just completely slant your defense towards Jokic. So I think he has to be out there.
Yeah. MPJ would play solely because I still do value his size and his rebounding and occasional rim protection when he's actually doing his responsibilities. But his shooting is just extremely valuable. Like Christian Brown could go 4 for 7 from 3. And MPJ could go 1 for 7 from 3. 100%. And MPJ provided more spacing than Christian Brown. Like just way more spacing than Christian Brown.
Because he could get going at any point. He could get
going. Like you need MPJ out there. You obviously have to have Jamal Murray out there. Jokic obviously goes without saying. So for me, the two spots are Aaron Gordon's spot and Christian Brown's spot. Now, Christian Brown, I still think is probably your best perimeter isolation defender. And I think Peyton Watson is probably way too limited offensively.
Peyton been better, by the way, in those same things that Christian is at.
But he's way too limited offensively, in my opinion, to really justify that switch. Whereas with Zeke Naji, I think he's been so much better defensively than Aaron Gordon. And he's not going to space the floor. Like no one.
Respectfully, they did close out to him, and he, a little bit.
But I just think that situation is more justifiable. And I think if I would make any alteration with the starting lineup, it would be Zeke Naji. But if you're going to say Aaron Gordon has to start. Politics, 30 million, blah, blah, blah. Zeke has to play.
100%.
That's where I will settle. I would say maybe he doesn't need to start. That's cool. Maybe
Marge,
that's
if I told you their bench rotation come playoff time, it's going to be Zeke, Peyton, Russ. All three of them are plus defenders. All three of them.
Yes.
Jordan too.
No, he's not playing.
No.
Pickett might play over Jordan. No, Jordan he just can't play.
He's back.
But I'm not. CT loves him. I don't love him. If they can manufacture like enough Jokic, Murray, Porter offense, and you're telling me those three defenders, everyone's doing their job. If the Nuggets were a top 3 defense in the playoffs again, or top 4 defense in the playoffs again, that for me is an easier solve for their woes than it is for them having shooters. Because the thing is, at some point in time, Jokic and Murray are good enough where they can probably win you 4 games in a series if the floor is a very high defensive ceiling. If the floor is like, we're going to just literally like limit you by switching as much as possible.
The OKC formula to a lesser degree.
Right.
Where you have this juggernaut offensive player. Yeah. You have this juggernaut offensive player who can make up for a lot of our offensive struggles. But we're a great defense. Dominant time defense. So Denver just needs to be a really good defense, which is optimistic.
So then I posed the question to you that I posed to you about an hour ago. Like you just told me
they've already been a top 3 defense most of them.
Well, you didn't like you're not sure that you love the Cavs against Indiana. You don't love it. You think the Cavs will beat them, but you don't love that matchup. Who gives Denver trouble early in the playoffs?
Wolves.
Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah, the Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves.
Why do the no cat in the lineup? Why do the Wolves give?
Because the Wolves were
Denver
still
trouble?
They were still built for Denver. I think they were built by Connolly to beat Denver. So Ant, Jaden, Rudy, Nas, like all that, Nikhil, like they're going to throw multiple defenders at Murray. But think about now. But if the Wolves pack the paint versus Jokic and the Nuggets aren't shooting, think about how terrible things would get with Rudy and Nikhil and Jaden and Ant. You know what I mean? Like that's dealing with the level of like a physicality that, I mean, if people thought the Lakers were physical, like the Wolves can go to a different level with that if they need to. So I would say the Wolves early, it would 100% be the Wolves. Everybody else, I think the Nuggets can beat pretty confidently. The Wolves though are the one that's going to be like the one that's like y'all have to play well. But if the thing is, go ahead, Mars.
It's not early, but how do you feel you guys match up with Memphis?
I think Memphis is really good. I think they would have a very easy time with Memphis. They just don't struggle with Memphis. Memphis is not good enough on the perimeter. They're not big enough. I think Zach Edey is too slow. Jaren Jackson Jr., I think, is really good, but he doesn't pose Jokic a problem at all. Aaron Gordon, even, they're about to damn near the same size, like almost. You know what I mean? Like, I think they don't have a physical advantage. And even if they like, and also too, like another thing about this, you have to go big on Porter too. Bane,
he's not small. He's
Jalen Wells, like
10. Correct.
He's going to be. I mean, there's an argument that Michael Porter Jr. might be the second best rebounder on the Memphis Grizzlies. Like that's the problem. Like the Nuggets they're gonna kill you on the boards. So I think that's the problem. Like I think Memphis just would be an easier. I would feel more comfortable with them versus Memphis than the Wolves.
I don't think that Memphis is gonna. I don't think they pose a threat because I think y'all deal with them, Oz. I do. I think that you guys,
the Rockets.
I think y'all deal.
We gotta worry about making the playoffs at this point.
But I do. I do think that if you ended up, I do think that you end up dealing with them.
Oh, that's gas.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Golden State's like 3 games behind.
Y'all fall into the 7th seed, you saying?
No,
it's possible. We're like 4 games up on the 7th seed, and you trust in Houston in single game eliminations against anyone?
I mean, it is still about 21 games left. It's not crazy.
But I think they can win in the play-in, though. You don't think they can win in the play-in, bro?
I think we can, but do you trust us to win single game eliminations?
Versus who right now?
Yes, I do. I like y'all against
assuming we drop to the 7. Assuming we drop to the 7. This is very rudimentary. Assuming we drop to the 7, so the 2 teams below us move up. So Golden State go up to 5, and Minnesota go up to 6. So we drop to 7.
Yep.
We'd have to beat the Clippers in the first game.
I got y'all.
Okay.
I don't think that's a guarantee. And then we'd likely have to play the Kings in the second game, or the Suns.
So Zubac and Sabonis back to back.
The Kings, who have dominated us the whole season, by the way, like we've lost to the Kings every single time. The Clippers, we've actually had good fortune against, but we haven't seen the Kawhi Leonard Clippers. Like we haven't played them once, so we don't know how we match up with them.
He didn't play last night, by the way.
Yeah, I mean James Harden just going to his little bag. You know what I'm saying? But we might win. I'm not saying we won't. But single game elimination, without offense.
Mars, any of them 4 bottom teams, I got y'all against them. And that includes the Wolves, the Clippers, the Kings, the Mavericks. And if you want to throw the Suns in there, cool. Only team I'm not confident with you guys is the Warriors. Other than that, I think y'all straight.
Well, luckily the Warriors won't be in the play-in.
And I think that this defense that you have that hasn't been good over the last month or so. I mean, does defense change? I mean, I saw the Lakers become the best defense in the playoffs over the course of a month and a half when they were awful, when they had Anthony Davis, who was in and out of the lineup. Do I think that the Houston Rockets defense can change? Yes, I do think that they can change. I think that with your defense, more than anything, with getting Jabari Smith back and Tari, I think it's more effort than it is anything. I think that you guys have been gassed because it's not rotations. I don't think it's rotations. I don't think it's on-ball defense. You have one of the best on-ball defenders in the game. And one of the main reasons, and to your point, when you talked about Sengun being around the rim, I think Steven Adams needs to play more. And I think Steven Adams needs to play more.
Chill.
Here's why.
Do you know the Rockets are 28th in effective field goal percentage in the NBA?
That's what I'm saying, man. And I understand.
They're right above the Magic.
The Wizards in Orlando, right?
Yeah, I understand how bad the offense is. The reason why I feel like Steven Adams needs to play more, because if I'm looking at the roster, he might be your best rebounder per minute. He might be
by far the best rebounder. Not even close. By far.
Well, so with that being said, I think a lot of
the best rebounder in the league. So
I think that a lot of the times with your team in terms of defense, you don't come up with those stops because you don't rebound as much. And I think Steven Adams, especially over the course of like the last month or so, that's why I think Steven Adams needs to play more. And if he played more, I think that would pick your defense up, especially when you know that you got a rebounder that's consistent, that you know you're going to get stops. I think that would pick your defense up a little bit more, and the effort would increase.
The problem with the rebound was not having Jabari. Like, Amen's a nice.
Now you got him back too. So that's.
But you need like this is why I don't agree with Jabari going to the bench, because you need in my opinion, if you're gonna start, the front court to me should be Amen, Jabari, and Şengün. That should be the front court to me. But I understand politics, Dylan Brooks, blah blah blah, whatever. But defensively, like, we tried to run a zone against Indiana. You know how badly that zone got torched. Like, it was abysmal. Right? It was maybe the worst attempt of a zone defense I'd seen this season. And I've watched the Wizards try and play some zone. So, like, it was maybe the worst zone defense I've seen. And then in terms of, like, we're a flawed defense. Jalen Green isn't a very good defender, especially like that Indiana game. He was terrible. Amen is a really good defender, but like the last few games, I don't know if he's tired. He's been playing a lot of minutes, so he doesn't look the same level of defender. Şengün he's not a good defender. He's improved, and they're using him in a way that he's able to rotate and be a rim protector on the weak side. That's cool. But in terms of his actual overall defense, he's still not very good in drop. He's more of a switch big than a drop big, which I didn't expect to see, but that's the reality. So I think you need Jabari out there. I think you need Jabari, Amen, Şengün, Fred, and Jalen Green as the starting lineup, just so you can have enough rebounding. In theory, you have enough shooting with Jabari, Fred, and Jalen, and then you have the interior presence with Şengün and stuff. But the lineup we currently are running, I don't think that's a viable lineup at all. And I'm not very high, but play the Pelicans tonight. If the Rockets lose to the Pelicans, I'll be back here tomorrow saying sound the alarms. That's what I'll be. So
hey, man,
we'll see.
Look though, Zion and Trey could both go crazy. Like that's not out of
the Rockets lose to the Pelicans, I'll be here saying sound the alarms. That's what I'll be here.
You might want to start getting them alarms ready, because Zion, he an issue. But all right, y'all, we gonna transition over to these super chats. Salute to everybody that sent through a super chat. Salute to everybody that's liked the video so far. Salute to everybody that has subscribed so far, and salute to all of our Hall of Famers. I got my man Tyrese. I hope I'm saying it right now. Tyrese Williams. Let me know if I'm not saying it right, but shout out to Tyrese Williams. Shout out to 40 Cal. Shout out to Cheese. Shout out to Vale. Shout out to Multi Kenny, and shout out to Cobra Son of Raditz. We have a super chat from a certain Blazers fan that sends through a super chat every single day. His name is DSG Piccolo. DSG said, sorry for last stream. I gave the wrong info. Mobley was not top 5 when I saw the stat. He wasn't even top 10. he could have had 66 blocks versus Portland, and Toumani Camara would have had more defensive stops. But Triple J was top 10, so he's my defensive player of the year. Chill.
Of course you
SGA
did.
was 4.
Of course you think that. No
I
problem.
mean, there's nothing wrong with Triple J.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
He's in the conversation.
What was the context behind this?
Defensive stops. So I think the stat is charges drawn, offensive fouls drawn, and steals. The league leaders in that. It was I think it was Toumani Camara number 1. I think it was no, Asar Thompson and Toumani Camara were the top 2. I think Wemby was 3.
Ridiculous thing of all time.
What is it, Mars? Charges drawn.
Charges drawn, offensive fouls drawn, and
offensive fouls drawn and steals.
Yeah, and I think it was a
Wemby draws charges. Really?
He was number 3 in the stat apparently.
Wow, Wemby. I don't think I've ever seen Wemby draw charges.
And then Shea was 4. So, that's what someone told me the stat wasn't.
How long until we ban charges?
Never. What? You can't just barrel over me. You can't do that. No.
I think that I think a restricted area charge is a different thing. I think a player coming from outside of restricted area and getting a charge, I think that's crazy.
No.
The Kyle Lowry charges, the Kevin Love charges.
I can't stand them. They're dangerous.
Well, they've already banned when a guy is in the air and then you run it underneath them. You can't do that anymore. No. But
I'm saying, but if a dude's leaving, if he's outside, if he's above the free throw line and I'm running into the lane and you get set and I elevate, that's still a danger to both players. I just don't. I think what you should have to do is contest this way, upward. I think having a charge in that situation, I think
that's why Giannis ended up getting hurt.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's too dangerous.
Yeah, but
be in control when you're driving.
Right, and it's still illegal.
If you had a control, that's on you.
If someone's set and you still take that's a bad decision.
But I'm saying
once you're airborne, yes, I agree, it's dangerous.
But it's such a pop play though. Like when you're going, you don't always notice like what's happening. Like you don't know if he's set or not. If anything, you're trying to get a bucket or you're trying to get a foul. And so for you, you're like taught to go aggressive to the lane and like. Even if because you're trying to leave, because you might be like getting ready to jump when they get set, and then it's like I think the athletes that are in the NBA now, I just think that like this is different than like high school or even college. Yeah.
So now all of a sudden it's athletes in the NBA. It was never athletes in the NBA.
I'm saying we have more athletes now than we used to.
No, we don't.
Yes,
no, we don't.
We 100%.
Be that as it may, the 90s was uber athletic. The 2000s was ridiculously athletic.
Shaedon Sharpe. I think if you took him back to 1985, chill, what is he, the 4th best?
That's Terrence Stansbury. That's who
is he the 3rd best dunker in the league?
No, like Terrence Stansbury was doing 360s from the hash mark off the one leg. So what are you talking about?
Shaedon Sharpe is not the first person to be able to jump like this.
And then this big tough.
He's definitely not the first person to jump like that. I mean, I've seen DJ.
This big tough football player talking about is dangerous. I'm just gonna get hurt.
Yeah, basketball, y'all are a different breed. Like
it's a contact sport, it's a contact sport. It's that's just. Well, I mean, no, LU for trying to change the game. Like you trying to make it a soft sport. It's a contact sport. If I'm going
back in. Hand check back in. Put him up.
Anyways,
there's
nothing wrong with the hand check either. It's good defense. I should be able to touch you a little bit.
Crazy.
But anyways, though, if you're driving to the rim and you can't control your body, if you can't change direction, I should be able to take advantage of that. If you don't have any dexterity, any ability to move side to side, I should be able to stand in front of you and let your stop your feet. I should be able to stand in front of you and let your big clumsy ass run me over and get the ball back. Like, move this way, move that way, stop and pop.
It's an advantage for the defense. The defense has to have some type of advantage. If I can't hand check you and if I can't take charges, all right, we're gonna start seeing games where it's 206 to 203.
I think there are advantages you could put in the game, and that would help the defense. I think the FIBA rule of getting the ball off the rim, I love it. Let's do it.
I like that.
Let's do it.
And plus, I just want to make this clear. All good defenders are touching you. All good defenders are putting. All good defenders are touching you. All good defenders are playing physical defense on the perimeter as well as in the paint.
100%. I agree. I am 100% on board with defense in the NBA. 100%. I just more so this is a player safety thing. But if y'all disagree, y'all disagree.
I mean, Swiper. The thing about it
like Ron talking. You sound like Ron talking about you shouldn't be able to dive for loose balls. What's up?
Who said that? That's not even the same thing.
Well, they've already to your point, Swipe, they've outlawed it. They've outlawed it. So maybe the verbiage needs to change in terms of we're gonna keep.
Well, there's a
charges
super chat. I'll do Ron's job for him. Average Joe said, I'm with Swiper. I think they need to extend the charge circle to minimize those plays, jump or get out of the way. So many of these calls are 50-52. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they just need to enlarge the restricted area circle. That's all it is.
Swiper, maybe you and Joe need to stop being so average.
How would so if we enlarge the circle, what does that mean when a guy
means you're not right under the rim?
That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that's going to prevent injury though.
It's going to change angles though. Again, let me W geometry. Would you like to know about physics in space? If you expand the restricted area, John D, sit up in your chair. Class is in session. If you expand the restricted area in this situation, getting charges further away from the rim, I think, would be healthier for the player long term.
Because guys don't have to jump. Is that what you're saying?
Because the distance now that you have between the rim is gonna take you out of the mode of jumping to the basket from the same plane that you were previously. Take that note, write that down. So I think that if you extend the restricted area, I do think it ultimately will help you. And I think that's where Ox said you can use your skill. Now you got to use more skill to get into the lane to try to finish in that scenario. And now, at that point, if you get a charge with an additional foot in the restricted area, that's a tech. That's a tech. If you get a blocking foul that close, that's a tech. That's a tech because you know you ain't supposed to be doing that.
Yo, you know you ain't supposed to be doing how far are you saying expand the restricted area?
Oh no, a foot. Ron, you know better than most. You know better than most. Look, 6 inches is a lot. You can do a lot with 6 inches. If you just
focus, what is this episode?
Focus, Mal. Come on,
what are we talking about?
Yo.
All we talking about is the restricted area.
No, my thing is, he said a foot. He said a foot.
Damn, it's been all episode.
First off, 6 inches is half of a foot. So a foot is not in the NBA. Like a foot is a lot, but it's not. Like you got to understand these dudes are mammoth. Like these are NBA players.
It's a step, basically.
So what I'm saying is it's not a step. It's smaller than a step for these NBA players. These dudes are 16, 7 foot in the restricted area. My thing is, even if you expand it that much, like it's still gonna be the same thing. You would have to expand the restricted area 3 feet to do what Swipe is trying to say. He's basically saying don't take charges near the rim. You would have to expand the restricted area so much further because once again, and this happens a lot. How many times do we see dudes taking charges in the restricted area, thinking they're outside of the restricted area? How many times do we see dudes with their foot on the line? So
we don't see guys. Not everybody that's taking charges next to the rim. Guys are in the air. You might be getting to the rim and you barrel me over trying to get to the rim.
Exactly.
Like I don't want to 86 that from the game. No, we've seen guys get ran over taking the ball to the rim and like on the baseline or like in the middle of the lane. We've seen that before guys even get off the ground. So no, I don't want to get rid of that.
I don't want to get rid of charges at all. That was crazy. But I can get with expanding the restricted area. Whether it is just 6 inches, whether it is a foot, I don't think we should go any further than a whole foot. You know what I'm saying? I think that's plenty. But anywhere between 6 inches to a foot, expanding the restricted area, I actually do like that. I'm not mad at that at all.
All right.
See, you done kick Swipe out of practice. What happened to Swipe? You done kicked him out of practice, Ron. That necessary?
Kicked himself out of practice.
That shit was hilarious, man. That was fine.
He had to go take a bathroom break.
I don't know why I got dropped in the first place. I was just trying to explain how I would do it.
Swiper got kicked out of practice. He's trying to explain something.
That's crazy. Swiper, I hate that don't make no sense. I used to hate that. Like, what I'm getting kicked out for? Like, I ain't do nothing.
Yeah, you asked me a question to explain how much would you need to make it work, and I said you can probably get away with 6 inches. That's all I said.
I mean, you know that better than anybody, Ron.
Drink more water.
Honestly, if you 4 inches might get the job done.
Drink more water. Said $20 for 20K points. I want to congratulate Giannis for being the 6th youngest player to reach that milestone. Even though he came in young, it's an amazing feat considering his start. Dame also in the same game reached 3K with threes.
3,000 threes.
Shout out to Dame.
Yeah, I don't think enough is being said about. I think the only people younger than Giannis to do it, LeBron, obviously, KD, Kobe, Wilt, MJ. I think are the only people who are younger than Giannis to get to 20K.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a pretty big deal.
Didn't he go to school for 3 years?
Yeah,
on top of that,
averaging 40. I was averaging 40. Like, let's be serious. I was averaging 40. Yeah. But like, I think that's a big deal. Like, Giannis is what, 29, 30?
30.
He just turned 30. He just turned 30 in December.
30 is great.
He's on track for 30K.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's on track for 30K.
Seven more elite years. Say 5 more elite years, 2 more All-Pro years. Yeah.
He's been a dominant regular season scorer since 2018. Like, he's been putting up crazy numbers for like the last 7-8 years in the regular season. He seems to be getting better offensively. He's finally figuring out the mid-range shot now, the free throws and stuff.
I mean, if he can make free throws, bro, he'd be at 22,000 right now.
But like,
hey,
I want to shout out to Giannis because like he's one of the best players in the world right now. He's improving his game year on year, and it's like he's like an afterthought in like a lot of just discussions in terms of like whatever the case. He might not be the best player in the world. Cool, maybe he is, maybe he's not. I don't. Like, it's like we just
top 3 for sure.
We just like it's just like. Jokic, Shea, and then we'll bring up Tatum, and then we'll bring up LeBron, and we'll bring up this guy and that guy, and it's like Giannis is just the constant. Like throughout all of this, LeBron and Steph were the best players in the world, and Giannis was just there, like, hey, I'm one of the best players in the world too. And then 2019, hey, I'm one of the best players in the world too. Then Jokic ascends in 2021. It's like, oh, it's Giannis and Jokic, but Giannis is still there. And now it's today. It's like we got Tatum and Shea and Luka, and it's like Giannis been here the whole time. Like,
and then we
Don't
talk about
forget Embiid was. Don't forget Embiid.
Embiid. Like the longevity of Giannis is starting to stack up. Like we're getting to a point where we're getting to a decade where Giannis has been like a dominant force. And like
since 2019, since the 2019-2020 season, right? I think that was the bubble year. He has not averaged less than 28 a game. Since then,
but still, it's just running down though. So who cares?
Well, Ron, but since you're the man at the helm, I feel like you should be bringing him up more.
I push Giannis propaganda. What?
I know, but we don't. We probably don't talk. We probably don't talk about Giannis as much as we could, though. You know,
we had a conversation.
No, don't even look at me.
You want to know why?
I'm new here. I've been here for a year. I've been here for a year. I watched the show before then. Y'all didn't talk about him then.
Hey, we had a
PC been around for 4 years.
Yes,
I've been around for one.
And we've consistently talked about swipe.
Unless you're telling me I got that motion where I'm already dictating terms for PC, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Just like when Penn comes up here and all of a sudden we're talking about Scotty Barnes for 30 segments.
And the Raptors, we talking about this.
Mars was pushing Jokic prop before I got on here.
If I'm not mistaken, did we not? And I listened to Ox talk about Giannis being the best player in the world. We had a conversation about that for almost a half an hour. One episode. We did do that with Giannis. It's not like we don't talk about Giannis around here. Yes, we do. We 100%.
It's because we have to functionally talk about how Jokic does this and that for this. So we got to talk about Jokic functionally for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Mars is right. Giannis is just an afterthought.
Well, I would like to say that I have consistently held him in at least top 3 in the world. He's the best player in the world conversation about him. If you want to have it, I think there's a very real argument for it. I think that SGA is great. I would still think Giannis is better in the playoff setting. There are several levels to Giannis. I think Giannis, Luka, and Jokic can all finish as top 15 players of all time. I think that highly.
Just had the conversation about Giannis closing the gap because I thought that there was a gap between Joker and everybody else for a while. And we talked earlier this season about Giannis closing the gap, which he did this year, about being the best player in the world. We had a conversation for like 45 minutes. Giannis, which I actually did say this, and if I could have ran myself over with a truck, I would have said that Charles Barkley was a better transition player than Giannis. I want to stand in the road and run myself over saying.
Did you say he's a better offensive player?
I'll stand on that.
I remember that.
I was with you in the transition talking. I'll stand on that for you.
But it's like I've already.
I don't think that he's that. But I want to stay on point here and talk about Giannis being a top 3 player in the world for the last half decade is legit. No questions asked, and he's improved his game. That mid-range game, I've always said Giannis needs to turn his brain off. Well, it looks like he flipped the switch and turned the lights out. And when he puts his head down, I know that mid-range shot is going.
Is he finishing?
And he's much better.
Mars around the rim.
Well, volume-wise, percentage-wise.
Last year he was. I think he had 600 attempts on 82% from the rim.
No, he's not finishing at that same clip.
Okay, yeah, because Giannis was insane.
Hold on, because we just got some friends back over at Shot Creator. I can get you those stats. If you give me a
For what it's worth, and I don't know if you guys are believers. The last 5 games, Giannis is shooting 77% from the free throw line. Progress?
I'm gonna tell you this: if we get into a playoff series and he's shooting 75 to 80% from the free
you
throw
get
line
75% from the line, Giannis. You get 75% from the line. You get knocking down mid-range jumpers. You get monster in transition, and you get fully engaged on defense. Dangerous player, man.
These are the indictment papers. Look. These are the indictment papers on Giannis. They're getting ripped up, and we got to go back to the DA and tell him that we don't have any more evidence.
What would Giannis have to do to carry that Bucks team to a finals this year? Because I don't think the personnel is good enough. But how would Giannis be able to get them there?
Well, he would have to supplement what they don't do on defense on the perimeter and at the rim. He would have to supplement that, and it would have to be at an all-time great level. Even though Brook Lopez is still a really good rim protector, he'd have to do that. In fact, he would have to up his rebounding. He'd have to be more of a force on the perimeter in switching and recovering. He would have to carry them. I don't think he'd have to carry them offensively, because I think Dame is good enough where Dame, once they get further along in the playoffs, I think Dame, with having somebody like Giannis, I think Dame can supplement whatever Giannis doesn't do.
But I don't trust Dame though.
I just think that on the defensive side, of the basketball, that's where it would have to. It would have to go wherever it is now. It would have to go to a level even more than that. On the rebounding side, on the perimeter, on the recovery side, Giannis being switchable, Giannis getting the ball out of other people's hands. They would have to improve tremendously defensively in order for that to happen.
Quick question. Well, not quick question, but the thing that makes it crazy is I think Boston's gonna really hunt Dame. Like, Dame has really made an improvement in
with who though?
Season.
JB,
Boston, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Those guys are
really all of them. Derek White and Drew Holiday too. They can pick on that.
KP, if he's available, is gonna try and get to that elbow against Damian Lillard, Kyle Kuzma, Taurean Prince every single possession. And it just sucks because over the trade deadline, I think they've made a lot of really good moves, like bringing in Kuzma, bringing in Jericho Sims so they can add some athleticism and some defense. But then again, it's like, in this new age of basketball, if you have that one glaring issue on the defensive side, these teams are going to attack it every single possession they can. And that's what makes it tough, because I think Giannis can be a help side rim protector. I think Giannis is switchable. I think Kuzma throws some problems in any opposing team's offense when he has the chance. Taurean Prince, so it's an improving defense, but I don't think it's to the point where they can go to the finals off of it. But Giannis being the best player in the series, in any Eastern Conference series he goes into.
I'll say it even stronger. Giannis is the best player definitively in every series except for 2, and then probably definitively in the other one too. Definitively, I think he could be definitively better
in the Eastern Conference. There is nobody better than him. Nobody.
No.
Yeah, but I've heard people say if JT
and I'm a Jason Tatum guy. Any of you guys know me, know that I love Jason Tatum. If they play Milwaukee, Giannis is the best player in the series.
Thank you, Jay.
I'll go 2 steps further. It is very possible that in any given series, the Bucks have the 2 best offensive players in that series. It's very possible. Not probable, but it's very possible. You get a fully locked in Damian Lillard, the problems he poses for a defense, it is very possible the Bucks have the 2 best offensive.
If they play the Knicks, Giannis is a better offensive player than Cat.
Well, it depends on Cat shooting. The sky is blue. Yes, it 100% depends on Cat shooting. Though. If he's shooting 50% again, then but I don't think he's going to do it.
The sky is blue.
No, but
I don't care how many threes he chucks up. I don't care how high he gets.
Cat is not the Giannis.
He eats his Wheaties before every single game.
Damian Lillard, sir. Dame, not Giannis. Dame. I don't think he's going to
be better than Dame either.
He's already been a better offensive player than Dame this year.
Has he?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if he
he's been looking a little rough lately.
So on the year in totality, Carl Anthony is one of the best offensive players in the league. So I'm saying if his shooting maintains and his post work maintains, then yeah, like I can see a world where he could be better. And Brunson's better. Brunson clearly better than Dame. So
but that doesn't mean he's going to be better than
I
Dame.
know, but
and on top
just
of that, I can't just come and say Brunson's been better than Dame.
Okay, all right, that's what I'm saying. We're not.
I can say that. Yeah, I can say that.
I don't know because once again, Dame has the second best player, third best player, whatever you want to categorize him as in the world. He has to kind of defer to that.
Okay, but nobody's stopping Brunson from doing what he does though on that team.
That's the point I'm making. Everything in New York revolves around Brunson. So Brunson has but Cat still revolves around Brunson.
Yeah, but so if Brunson's main thing is pull up shooting and driving,
we can't act like
making.
Well, wait a minute though, Swiper. We can't act like the Milwaukee Bucks didn't get Damian Lillard to close games in addition to what he already does.
Not a better closer than that guy.
Close games.
Not better closer than that guy.
Jalen Brunson, my clutch player of the year, man.
Well,
Revisionist.
How is this revisionist?
He's doing that at an elite level.
I'm saying you need revisionists. We just forget about this all of a sudden.
I forgot.
No, I'm just saying Jalen Brunson in the clutch this year has been.
Yeah, the Knicks lead the league in clutch points. The Knicks lead as a team. They lead the league in clutch points, and I think Jalen Brunson leads the league in clutch points. I think that's going on with both the New York Knicks and Jalen Brunson.
Per game,
per game, according to citing my source, according to NBA.com.
I'll check it out now for you, Chill. Don't worry, I got you.
I'm pretty confident that's what I read.
I'm your bestie. I'm here for you.
So according to my source, that's what I read. But with that being said, I don't know because I wouldn't be able to combat what Mars is saying because I said the same thing yesterday. If you got James and you got Luka, at any point, you either have the best player in the series, you got the second best player in the series, or you got the two best players in the series. So if you have that, then you have an opportunity to win. And it's
the other stuff though. I think Mikal and OG and Mitch and Deuce and Hart wipe the rest of the Bucks though.
Well, I mean, I think Kuzma's been good.
Clear the rest of them.
I think Kuzma's been really good.
No, they
don't. I think Kevin Porter Jr.
Wait, what do you mean? No, they don't.
I mean, what I said. No, they don't.
Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off, Art. But
elaborate on that a little bit.
Which one of them better than OG?
Which one of them is better than OG?
Which one of those players for them?
It's not about being a better player.
Go
you can
down
say
the
OG's
list.
the best.
Which one brings more? Which one brings more?
Which one's more?
You can say OG might be the best role player out of the rest of those guys. But the Bucks, the rest of what the Bucks bring to the table as a unit, what they do, and how much deeper they can go to their bench, they're just a better collective.
Who's coming off their bench?
Milwaukee.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Oh man, we're done.
AJ, Kevin, he just had a triple-double last night.
Kevin
Porter Jr. has been balling.
Yeah,
and on top of that, he's been playing defense too. So while you're doing this, Kevin Porter Jr. has been sitting down on defense.
Okay,
AJ Green, one of the best shooters in the NBA, and he plays defense too.
Oh yeah,
Jericho Sims has looked like a completely new man. A completely new man. But you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that because you pay attention to one region, in one conference, in one team.
Yeah, you're doing this agenda thing again. I just want to know: Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mitch Robinson, Mikal Bridges. If they do their job. All right. Okay. I'm just saying they have to do their job. Obviously.
And that's an if, which they haven't. They
have.
I
trust Josh
Hart more than what, Ron?
They have been. They have been, but they really haven't been.
I trust Josh Hart more than anybody else that you name for the Bucks. 100%.
I agree.
All right.
OG, Mikal, and Josh Hart.
He's the second best. He's the third best rebounder in that series too.
You're contradicting yourself because you're going by the names. But when we said this with the Heat, you don't need names. This and this.
Wait. If going by saying their names because those are the people we're talking about means I'm going by the names, then Ron, sure, I'm going by the names. I'm talking about what they do on the court. Yes, I said their names because that's what we're talking about. But I'm not just going. I'm not going off of reputation and you're talking about these three guys. I'm talking about these three guys because these is the dogs out here. OG, Mikal, and Josh. Those are the Rottweilers out here.
All right.
You out here talking about some Labradors.
When Brooke Lopez has his way against the Knicks, I don't want to hear nothing. When
Brooke
What is with
Lopez.
you and Brooke Lopez?
when Torian
Hey,
Prince,
shout out to Brooke. You
when
know I got
Torian
big love
Prince,
for Brooke. I ain't even go-
Kuzma are doing what, and AJ Green are doing what they do on the wings,
Come here.
I don't want to hear nothing.
Come here.
I'm just saying, all right. Hey,
I ain't mad at you.
it's a lot that can be
That's
talked
the Knicks
about.
role players. That's the Knicks role players right there.
It's a lot that can be talked about.
That's
I like the Knicks complimentary pieces more than the Bucks, but I do like the moves the Bucks made at the deadline. Like everyone knows I was the definition of pessimistic about Kuzma. He's been really good, really good.
Shout out Kuz.
Kevin Porter Jr. Everyone knows, not a Kevin Porter Jr. guy. He's been really good.
Shout
Jericho
out to
Sims.
Kuz, so.
Everyone knows. I don't think Jericho Sims is very good.
Yeah,
He's been really
Jericho.
good. They got younger. They got more athletic. Those were two things that I thought they needed to do. They did do those things. Now I didn't like the players they got, but they did address the athleticism and the youth needs, and I think they've got better because of it. So I'm giving the Bucks credit for their trade deadline. AJ Green is one of the best shooters in the NBA. Torian Prince has been one of the best shooters in the NBA. You put shooters around Giannis. You have athleticism and defense around Giannis and Dame and Brook Lopez deficiencies. Bobby Portis is no longer playing for the team.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Then they have no chance.
I'm just saying the Bucks legitimately can go 10 or 11 deep in the playoffs. I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying they will, but I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying they legitimately can.
Okay, well, my
Well,
8
they
versus
can't.
your 12.
I mean, they
How about
could,
that?
but that would be a bad idea.
I'm not. Once again, I never said that they would. I'm saying that they have a competent roster.
Look, but again, I already made the argument. Giannis is going to cook, but this ain't got nothing to do with that. Giannis is going to cook.
But shout out to
Gary
Kuz,
Trent
though.
Jr. Gary Trent
I think
Jr. The chat
Kuz-
saying I forgot about him. Yeah, my fault. Gary Trent.
Gary Trent.
All Kuz had to do is play some meaningful basketball. I think Kuz is a hooper. Like I'm always been high on Kuz. Even these past couple years in the Wizards, I know it looked bad, but I still know Kuz.
This year looked bad. He looked fine last year. This year was just bad.
Right. So it's like you put him on a team where he's playing meaningful basketball. You're gonna really see his value because he has a lot of value to his game. So shout out to Kuz for sure.
I just want to point out something that I've noticed, and you guys may say I'm crazy. Back in 2023, the Los Angeles Lakers made a couple of very pivotal moves at the trade deadline. Where did they go? Conference Finals, deep run. The Dallas Mavericks made some very pivotal trade deadline moves. Where did they go? NBA
Gafford
Finals.
and PJ Washington.
So where are the Milwaukee Bucks going?
Kuzma and who?
Jericho Sims.
Kevin Porter Jr. And Bobby Portis getting busted.
Those moves that the Lakers made were to bolster their defense, and that's why they ended up becoming what they did. Now,
Same with the Mavericks and same with the Bucks.
Mars wasn't really that high on Kuzma. I loved Kuzma going to Milwaukee. I thought it was a really good thing with him being on that Milwaukee team because now if I watch him, the more I watch him, and I know we got to get to Super Chats. I'm not going to be long-winded here. I just think that they maximize what he does, and they take away from everything that he doesn't do. We ain't doing none of that. Everything that you do, that's what we doing. What you don't do, we ain't doing none of that. No more experimenting. Ain't no more of that shit going on with you. No.
Did you see the clip that somebody put together? They put together like I guess you call them lowlights of Chris Middleton's like potential assist with the Wizards since he's been over there.
I ain't seen it. No.
I feel bad for my man.
You feel bad
I
for
wouldn't be
Chris?
surprised.
Oh,
they won.
As soon as the trade happened. As soon as the trade happened, I felt bad for Chris. I got love for Chris.
Go to Washington, brother,
and to see what he's dealing with over there, man. From being
Giannis good basketball, man. It looks like he's playing.
Yeah, I'll be cool with it. Make my money go home.
He playing the right way. It might not be working out.
Chris trying to win, John. Chris want to win.
They just won last night.
Right?
The Jazz.
He won a chip, man. If I'm Chris, I'm like,
is that his first? Is that his first win with the Wizards?
No, they beat the Hornets.
Okay, so he got.
And TikTok is that. I think they're above 500.
They beat the Hornets and the Jazz.
I think they're above 500 with Chris Middleton. But
that's fine.
TikTok, by the way, is very passionate that the Hornets are worse than the Wizards. Like very passionate. So shout out to TikTok.
They might be.
Nah. Well, with Chris Middleton now.
I don't know. Right. Why you gonna see that shit, man?
No, because I watched the Wizards from October to January. They sucked.
Yeah,
now post trade deadline Wizards, they getting some fake wins.
I've watched Charlotte a couple of times. I've watched Charlotte too many times that I'd like to admit. And there were times when I watched Charlotte and I'm thinking to myself, you rewind the clock 25 years, I can go get 5 of my boys and we can beat them. We can beat them dudes. Yes.
Fair enough. Can't argue against that.
All right, y'all. Cowboy Bob sent through a super chat and said, I said that 2 years ago on Open Gym about letting Jokic score 50 plus. Stop the help because it causes the Cavs to only get into a rhythm when he's on the bench. But I'm a Knicks fan that all y'all they don't know.
Y'all say
they're not even doing ISO.
But I don't
Or double.
I don't get what point he's trying to. Teams are actively not letting Jokic touch the ball, so they're going against your philosophy of let Jokic score. They're doing the opposite. They're saying let everyone else do what they want. That's what they're doing.
They're
winning, and they're winning doing that.
Right on a fish hook, and they're just casting it in a pond.
And they're winning.
like they're doing the exact as close to the exact opposite plan that you laid out is what they are doing and having success with. Like the exact opposite.
Yeah, this is
I don't get how that's proof.
I was right hunting. This is I was right hunting.
Like that's like you just told me you were wrong and tried to say you were right. Like that's what you just did. Like they're not doing what you said they should.
I wish they would get single coverage again. That'd be
that's the exact opposite.
This has been a slugfest. I feel like I'm watching like the Cleveland Browns offense right now. Like it's just trash.
See, Swipe. If it was Dirk, they would abandon this already, because with Dirk, it's like, damn a double team, damn a triple team, I'm getting a bucket anyway. You know what I'm saying? As long as Dirk get the ball, you can see 2 and 3. And Dirk looking at that, laughing.
Man, that's so crazy because I seem to remember very specifically.
You're gonna bring up one time.
No. Dirk had multiple runs where they actually had multiple runs, by the way, where they got out in the first, second round.
But still cooking.
I mean, so is Jokic.
I'm a Dirk fan, by the way.
Thank you, still cooking double team.
I was Jordan, by the way. So is LeBron, by the way.
Another person.
Look, I'm just trying to. Which one?
Everybody.
Swipe is Jokic a better scorer than Dirk?
Then who?
Is Jokic a better scorer than Dirk?
Probably not. I would probably. Well, I think it depends. It really just depends. Like I think playoffs, Jokic has been like pretty 1-on-1. So I mean, it just depends. Honestly,
I think it's a lot closer than people are looking at it.
We're going to regular season scoring. Jokic didn't become a volume scorer until 2020-21. So yes, over the course of his career. But we have a 5-year scoring peak with Joker. So this is a completely different scenario.
Is peak Jokic a better scorer than peak Dirk?
Huh?
Is peak Jokic a better scorer than peak Dirk?
I mean, honestly, probably. I'm not gonna lie to you. Probably.
I don't think it's crazy. I mean, like, I would have to sit down and really think about this. I would have to sit down and,
Mars, you know how good Mars, you know how you are with Steve Nash, how you said people don't Mars, I think you disregarding how good Joker was as a peak scorer.
He's still here.
I'm disregarding Jokic. Me? Oh my god.
That's
He's
him.
disregarding.
That's Kool-Aid man. That's Kool-Aid. That's thing 2 down there in the right corner.
And not just you, Mars. Also you, Big Ox. I think you disregarding how good Joker is as a peak scorer. And I think Joker is I think Dirk was great. I think you disregard. This isn't a wash. No, this is not.
Dirk did kill. To Dirk's credit, he did kill the best defender of his generation every time we saw him. So I do want to say that. But I would also.
Can you admit that Dirk used to eat KG lunch? Can you admit that?
You know how many times I've had to drop out of this conversation because
I'm sure we clear on that. Can you admit that he used to eat KG lunch?
He used to cook my boy.
He used to bust KG ass.
That's what made me really start liking Dirk. I'm like, yo, KG don't got nothing for Dirk.
The bust his ass.
Right. But the thing is, Joker by far is the best post-playoff scorer that we've seen since Shaq. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it just depends on what you want. He is. I mean, he is.
I'm looking at some numbers. Right? You said
look at the numbers.
2021. 2021
I don't understand why do you get so upset if I bring you information. What is the wrong?
I want to bring
information.
Bring me some information, Mars.
Yeah. So Swap said 2021 is when Jokic became like a volume scorer, right? And he said the playoffs. So in the 2021 playoffs, Jokic averaged 31 points per 75 on plus 1.8 relative true shooting.
Yeah, that was the year with no Murray, no Porter.
In 2022. he averaged 35 points per 75. This is the Warriors series.
Yeah, one series versus the best defense in
on
the NBA.
on +9 relative true shooting.
Yeah, now I want you to make sure you sample size that with the best defense in the NBA by
far.
the
best defense in the NBA 5 games up, but that's why his efficiency was so high because their defense was so good. They was
last three games, 36 on 73 by the way.
And then 2023 he was 28 points per 75 on +5 relative true shooting.
I'm at 28.
And then last year's playoffs, he was 27.5 points per 75 on +7 relative true shooting.
Yeah.
So really good numbers.
Dirk
but then
was
I
crazy.
look at a Dirk Nowitzki, right?
It's relative nonsense. It's crazy.
In you got 06.
Let's do Jordan relative now.
27 points per 75 +8.
Can you hear this basketball right here? Go ahead.
I'm bringing some numbers to the table.
As you were saying, Mars.
In 06, you got 27 points per 75 on +8. Then you've got 27 points per 75 on +5. 09, 28 on +10.5. 2010, 29.4 on +12. 2011, 31 per 75 on +8. 2012, 29 on +5.
Yeah, that was that 08 run. Yeah.
Like, are those numbers not?
Yeah, but that relative thing is nasty though, because the thing with Joker,
nuance is nasty.
No,
guys.
I'm saying
nuance.
the best defenders of this era are Rudy, Bam, Anthony Davis, and I don't know who the 4 would be. Whoever Victor, I don't know. Whoever the other whatever person would be. I think if you just track how Jokic has scored versus all these players, I mean, he's just been like he had 30 on 67 true shooting versus Bam in the NBA Finals. I think that's a +11 series, if I remember correctly. And that was the most efficient 30 points per game, I think, ever through a playoff run relative to the era that they were in.
Or 63. What Dirk would have did to Bam?
Respectfully,
respectfully, what Dirk
I also identify. I also identify. I have been a big Dirk fan. I said Dirk was better than Kobe in the regular season. I understand this. I get it. I'm with you. But I'm also saying that I think in compact with how Jokic is scoring, I just think, I think there's something to being able to press the issue at the rim to the degree that he does, plus the mid-range, plus the floater, plus the three-point ball. But,
Swipe. Do you know what Dirk would have did to Rudy Gobert?
I don't know what Dirk would have did to Rudy Gobert.
Rudy wouldn't have been guarding
him.
Rudy wouldn't guard Dirk.
Yeah, that would have been Cat.
Do you view?
You know what he would have did to Cat?
Yeah, well, that's sure.
It's over.
But then they would have had it. But if he didn't have any spacing either, then they could have doubled.
So how did you feel about your team in 09 and the way you guys defended Dirk? How do you feel about
the phone booth is, Swiper?
A 4-1? Is that a 4?
Yeah, but you won the series. But how do you feel you guys defended Dirk? You have a good personality.
I don't know. Like, I was 18 years old. I didn't care, bro. Melo hooped.
Dirk averaged 32 points per 75 and +12 relative to.
Yeah, I know. And Melo hooped. What is Melo that series? Bring that up. What was Melo?
Yo.
No, now you want to change the subject, Ron.
No, we got to get back to the super chats once again.
We're gonna be good.
Melo was 29 for 75 and +6.
All right, once again,
boom.
We're talking about the Denver Nuggets. We're talking about the Jokic, and once again, it is Swiper's choice. I told y'all this 2 hours ago.
I didn't even bring this up. This is what's crazy about y'all. I have more motion. Chill. I have more motion in my bones than apparently all of PC's history put together.
Ron, as you were saying,
bring this up.
Focus, Ron. Super chat.
And we talk about Giannis for 15 minutes.
Ron.
I didn't bring up Jokic. I was talking to Giannis. I brought up the Knicks series. I brought up Josh Harden.
Come on, brother. Come on, Ron.
Hey, y'all remember that chat of the week, that telepathy thing?
That's what I'm saying. There we go.
It really might be. But here we go. Teddy Hart said,
disgusting.
Just watch Lexi Brown's interview on RNM. I'm not sure what RNM is. Do you guys? Well, shout out to RNM. And she brought up how WNBA players have to have their careers at risk just to start a family. Would it be wise for WNBA to partner with surrogacy companies or with surrogacy companies have their cake and eat it too?
If they want, I mean.
Hey,
I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak on this either.
If they want,
but shout out to Lexi Brown and shout out to WNBA.
I'm glad he brought that up because my daughter is actually starting a company where the new mothers and new mothers. She's actually starting a company where she hires nurses to help these mothers. Where you go into the house where these mothers aren't getting enough sleep, helping them with food, helping them with care for the kids. She's starting a company and she's doing that. It's a great idea. Yes.
Well, and then didn't Derek Hamby say that she was cut or whatever for getting pregnant again the second time? Was that what happened? Ox, you remember that story?
Yeah, it was something like that because she somewhere I guess they wanted her like kind of in her contract to say that she wouldn't, get pregnant during the season or something like that, and then she decided she did,
And
Vegas, I mean, right? in there, yeah. I mean, with that being said, it go both ways. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I get pregnant, I get pregnant, but at the same time, if one of our best players,
you got to miss
pregnant,
you got to miss a whole season like that.
If one of our best players get pregnant, she can't play. Like that's hurts the team. Well, Cheryl Swoops different, but that that's just a part. That's a part of being a woman in sports. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. I mean, children are a beautiful thing, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said I just don't want to touch that because everybody has so many different feelings about it. It's not for me to say. I ain't having baby.
I agree. But DSG Piccolo said if two non-starters are gonna have games with no other Celtics duo,
two non-stars.
If two non-stars are gonna have games no other Celtics duo has ever had, two with 40 plus, and that's Peyton Pritchard and Derek White, then you are not gonna win. Magnets were on, seen some straight bullshit going in, bad 3-ball defense in there too.
Sure, I've never seen it. I tried to rack my brain yesterday. I've never seen it before.
The action off the ball in the third quarter. That's where and to your point, Ron, I wasn't gonna watch the Celtics because Jason Tatum wasn't playing. That's the only reason why I watched them. And after the third quarter, I was out. Yeah, it's the only reason why I watched them because of him. But I was watching that action yesterday, and man, they were just falling from out of the sky. That lead, Portland was close for a while, and then the third quarter they just blew it open.
They have 5 players on their team that have scored 40 points or more in a game all in the last 3 years, including KP, I believe. Which
Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday did it.
What year? Oh, playoff. That was playoffs, right? 41 each.
It was 47 and 41, I think, in 2017.
But what I'm saying
it's happened a few times.
Well, no, I said role players though, because you know what I mean. But that I do remember that specific game. But at their peak, Dread. No, the Celtics are, they're not losing anybody.
Any role players on this list?
Shout out to Celtics though. I think 19 threes made by Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. I think that's the most in NBA history.
It's the first time that two teammates have both made 9+ threes. I think.
Yeah. Shout out to those two.
Is Derek White a top 5 4-quarter player in the playoffs? You think in the East, Ron?
Top 5
4-quarter player.
4-quarter player, like closing. No. I mean, if you use the context, I think Derek White arguably is like one of the best.
No, but that's just a hard question to know the answer to.
I mean, Brunson.
I would probably
Tatum.
say no, just because he's not a number 1 option. But I mean,
they go to him.
He's good. Yeah, but on any given night it could be, and that's the thing. On any given night it could be Jaylen Brown. On any given night it could be Jason Tatum. On any given night it could be Kristaps Porzingis. So he's not consistently closing games for him, which is why I would say no.
I think Darius Garland is underrated in that. I think Darius Garland could be really show up in fourth.
Would you rather have Darius or Derek in a playoff series? Because that question's been asked.
I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, you saw it, Dale. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it depends on the team I have. Because
Darius
Garland comes with very clear shortcomings that Derek White doesn't come with, and it's the defensive mismatch hunting.
What about?
Who would I rather have on my team between Derek?
What about the high comings?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It depends on my team. Am I a team that needs offensive firepower? If so, I can live with the defensive shortcomings of Darius Garland. Am I a team that's already very well rounded? Then I want someone who brings me no weaknesses, and that's Derek White. So it just depends on my team. Darius Garland is the better player. I'm just pointing out that he's a better player. Yeah. But who I would rather have on my team, it just depends on what I already have. Yeah. Just
hey, Ron, before you read your next super chat, I just want to real quick let everybody in the PC family know that today is the day Chill with Chill comes back. We're back 2 episodes a week, just like the good old days. So now we're going Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So in about that's about 2.5 hours. We'll be right back. So y'all favorite show on the PC platform is back 2 times a week. Saturdays at noon Eastern and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. So y'all be sure to tap in today.
How do you get on?
You hear that, Mars? You hear that, Mars?
Yeah.
are we doing? What is
Good old Chill with Chill, y'all. Be sure to tap in. Y'all know where to find Chill with Chill at.
You're like the worst host I've ever seen.
In the history of hosting, Mars.
What was
Garbage.
that?
I was showing everybody the Chill with Chill background.
This man is really the worst host
Garbage.
I've ever
Hey,
seen.
shout out to Chill with Chill,
and utter
man.
garbage.
Hey man, you're not beating them allegations. I was confused. I said, did the service drop out? Did we not? Did we not pay StreamYard? Like, what happened?
Who said
Mars, you and I had a conversation. Mars, you and I had the conversation about Charlotte and Washington yesterday. He is 10 times worse than them. This guy, is garbage.
Hey, somebody got to be at the bottom.
That's what you tell.
Salute.
In the words of my boy Big Ox,
Drip Bayless said, although KD, Steph, and Magic are greater than these players, would you prefer Jokic, AD, KG, Harden, Luka, Giannis, etc. over them because of the two elite aspects they provide?
Wait, KD, Steph, Magic are greater than these players. Would you prefer Jokic, AD, like all of those players, or one of those players?
One over the other. Would you prefer Luka over?
Wait, KD, Steph, and Magic don't provide two elite aspects?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What the hell are they talking
I'm
about?
confused. I'm perplexed.
Because then they put Jokic and Luka in this other one. So I'm trying to figure out what are these two elite aspects?
Scoring and
passing.
playmaking.
Okay.
Yeah, offensive rebounding,
so
elite
Magic
rebounding.
Johnson, who could do both.
Okay, relax.
Steph Curry, who could do both of them.
Nah, Jokic isn't the elite rebounder. So
Maybe the only person on that list that's questionable is Magic. But
questionable with
what do you mean questionable? What's questionable?
He doesn't have like the same scoring ceiling as those other two. So maybe that's what they were saying. I don't know. I'm trying to understand the question.
I want Steph, KD, and Magic. Thank you.
Oh,
without question.
Not over all of them, maybe not. I don't know, but I want Steph, KD, and Magic. And I saw some of them names I disagree with, so I want Steph, KD, and Magic.
Well, but KG was in
the Magic was a cone, so I understand why you want KG or something.
He was not a cone. No, he wasn't. He just wasn't elite.
Peak Magic, it was pretty coney.
Dennis Johnson. He was not a cone.
Peak Magic was pretty coney. I ain't gonna lie. Pretty coney.
DSG Piccolo said, lastly, if Jabari Walker is the first one to enter the band for band shooter competition with the Celtics, you probably will not win. On to OKC though. I hope Denny can play. Sorry, Mars, no too many steals.
Yeah, that pissed me off. He ain't got one steal because Jason Tatum wasn't playing. He couldn't rip him.
Bro, these nicknames that have been flying around NBA Twitter are hilarious. One of them will not be repeated, but they are quite funny.
Scotty Barnes one won't be repeated.
No, that's not gonna. This not even that one.
It can't be worse than cum bucket.
There is one that was said about.
It can't be worse
one of
than
the players that wouldn't, and that was a very
fuck.
Oh, the Denny FD one?
Calling that dude down. I'm like, yo, we got to come up with something else.
I'm not even locked in.
Pretty valid nickname.
We got to come up with
Mars is super locked into Twitter, bro. He just be in the shadows, by the way. He knows he sees everything.
I'm on Twitter now.
Matter of fact, I even went to bed late last night after the game.
First thing on my timeline is a Mars tweet, man.
Yeah, man, doing the show. Doing the show. First thing I look at is like 3 a.m. or whatever, and hear Mars tweeting at somebody off an old tweet that I put out from like a couple of days ago. You arguing with somebody about something.
We weren't arguing. We was having a nice conversation. Shout out to Dime Dropper on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Dime Dropper. Yeah. Shout out. Locked on.
We're talking about the Cavs ceiling. In the replies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Chill. You started a movement.
Do they really call Anthony Edwards Plan B?
No, it's the abortionist. That one too.
They really call him.
They just making stuff up.
Holy shit!
Hey, well, if the shoe fits, man.
All right, y'all. Malik Stevenson became a YouTube member today. Shout out to Malik.
Shout out Malik.
Brandon Lee also became a YouTube member today. Shout out to Brandon. And then Brandon sent through a super chat and said, Cavs winning 71 games. They only lose one more game the rest of the season.
That's tough. They're gonna start resting guys, load managing. I don't know. Maybe. 67 is where I feel comfortable. I think they're gonna get to 67. Anything above that, cool. But 67.
I had them third in the East before the season started.
I had them sixth.
I have no idea where I had them. I know I went very high.
Yeah. For me, it was Boston, New York, Philly, Indiana, Milwaukee, Cleveland.
Oh yeah, I remember the good old days of believing in Philly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cheese. He just sent through a members chat and he said, I love the games being physical, but they just can't allow it on one end and call a BS foul on the other end. Dub chat.
What game is he talking about, or is he just talking in general?
That's been going on from the beginning of the time. Players complain about that all the time.
I didn't see yesterday because I was watching the game, but I was busy though. When Shea, because who was guarding Shea? I can't remember. Somebody was, I think it was Desmond Bain. Desmond Bain was guarding Shea. He had his chest on him, and I think Shea stopped and then kind of threw his shoulder into his chin.
That was Scottie Pippen. It was Scottie Pippen.
Oh, it was Scottie Pippen. You're right. It was Scottie Pippen. Which way did that call go? Was that offensive?
They flipped it. They flipped it to a defensive foul.
Yeah,
it went to Shea.
Yeah.
So they called it on Scottie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, that's crazy. That's crazy. I just don't like that. Scottie Pippen out there looking like his pops though. Almost because he's little.
Oh, so not a superstar? Yeah.
Elite role player. Ron, what would your nickname be?
JD Sway became a YouTube member.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Loading also became a YouTube member. Shout out to Nick Loading.
Mm-hmm.
Viral Clips became a YouTube member.
Mm-hmm.
A Blair became a YouTube member. Shout out to everybody that's joining up. RS32 became a YouTube member. And as if that wasn't enough, a Hall of Famer in a GOAT chat member, Cheese, gifted 10 Players Choice memberships. So if you got one of those Players Choice memberships, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe and do all the other good things that you're supposed to do, and send through a super chat thanking Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Cheese.
Thanks, Cheese.
Tyrese Williams sent through a members chat. He's also a Hall of Famer, and he said, Ron, you were saying my name wrong. It's not Tyrese, it's Tyrese, like Chris, but Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese.
You be calling him Tyrese?
Ron, his name is exactly how it's spelled. Tyrese.
When I was saying Tyrese, did none of y'all correct me until he just sent through the super chat?
Well, that's because I don't be spell checking you. I'll just be listening. I'm not reading along.
Yeah, I'm not about to.
Spell checking you would be a that's I'm not.
That's these three job, Ron. That's these three right here. That's their job. As soon as you say something wrong, I'd be, you better get your shit together.
Ron, I got your nickname.
What is this, Swiper? What you got for me? Oh my God. What you got?
It's hooked on Ronix.
I'll get at a solid B. I think y'all can do better than that.
Oh gosh.
Hunter sent through the super chat and said, low key a blessing that teams are guarding the Nuggets like this with 20 games left to give them time to adjust to it for the playoffs. Also, Zeke Najee FC is eating right now.
I didn't know he does have one. He does have one. I think there's a Nazi Muse. There's a Mars Muse too.
There's everyone Muse. Yeah,
there's a Mars Muse.
Now imagine next year when Deron Holmes is back, you're gonna have some.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Next year, Deron Holmes, Zeke Najee, Peyton Watson.
Yeah, you got some front court. Black Hook. Yeah, you got some front court.
JMC with the members chat said, "You think hand checking is illegal? Luka gets hacked."
All right.
I mean, in the rule book, it's not allowed, but it happens.
And this is about a post that I saw not too long ago with Chris Dunn. He was hand checking Luka. Just so you know, Chris Dunn had 3 fouls in the first quarter. He had to sit down for the half. So we clear.
They allow contact.
They do
allow contact.
If they called every instance of hand checking, everyone.
Oh, Chris Dunn absolutely should make an All NBA team this year for defense, but he's not going to. By the way.
I don't think he has enough games.
No, he does. He doesn't have enough games over 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. I knew something along the lines of. Isn't that what left Dante DiVincenzo out of the most improved race?
No, but it was somebody last year didn't make it all defense either. It might have been Derrick Jones Jr.
He probably wouldn't have made it anyway. But
yeah, well, Dallas fans.
Luka's getting hacked. His knee's bleeding.
Oh, speaking of which, Luka is probable tonight with the knee injury. I know somebody said earlier that he's out tonight. It does say that he's listed as probable, and they're playing the Knicks. I think it's a TNT game. So hopefully he does play. Because
they don't need him. They don't need him.
It's a knee injury, Ron. Like, is it structural or is it a floor burn?
Who they play tonight?
I don't know if it's on the inside or the outside.
Cat's back tonight. So.
them floor burns really be taking you out. You know what I'm saying? So
the Lakers win.
Stop diving for loose balls.
The Lakers win. LeBron still loses his minutes. That's my prediction.
Nice.
Dre Bands became a YouTube member. Shout out to Dre for joining up. Make sure you like the video, Dre.
No, that's not. It's not Dre Bands. It's Dre Bands.
Dre Bands. My bad, Dre Bands. My bad, dog.
Drabans.
I'm sorry.
It's not. It's not Drabans. It's Drabans.
Drabans. My bad. It's French. It's French. Yeah. It means
It's
garbage. And shout out to Eastside General too. Salute to Eastside General. Y'all know what he does in the chat. Y'all know how he turns up. He be cooking in the chat. So shout out to Eastside. Masinko sent through a super chat and said, "Dub Terrence Stansbury, shout out, chill."
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Realist 123 with the super chat. Realist said, "Been away for a couple weeks. I just had a baby boy." Shout out to Realist and Realist Jr. He said, "I've missed this."
Yeah, shout out to Baby Real. Shout out to you, man. Congratulations on fatherhood. Beat me to it.
Or motherhoods. We don't know who Realist is.
Fatherhood or motherhood, you're right.
Or parenthoods. We don't know how Realist identifies.
Sure. Parenthood.
Realist said,
just guardianship.
Yeah. Also, we don't even know how your son identifies. Let's give him time to
that's
choose.
crazy.
Let's give him time to choose. So
Realist
congratulations on your offspring.
I just read that Luka will be out tonight. So it was Realist that said that. And then Realist said, "Who everybody got? Banner 18 loading."
Tonight, I got the Lakers. To win the title, I still got Boston.
Who y'all got winning the title? Everybody.
Boston.
Chill.
Boston.
Swiper.
I'm the only one that respects OKC up here, I see.
Oh, I respect OKC.
No, Boston needs KP, though. If they don't have KP, they're not going to the finals.
Big Ox.
That's a take. I like that.
Yeah, they're not going to the finals. KP.
Bro, I got the Lakers.
Ox!
Hey.
I would be. You know how toxic this offseason will be if the Lakers win a chip?
Oh my God.
Hey, Ron, I need to be up here every day. Every day. Yellow and purple face paint. Every day.
Yellow.
Wait, you'll be up here every day. You'll be up here every day on Chicago Central Time?
Yes, 100%. Every day.
Oh my God. This is gonna be a
Swiper resigns in Atlanta.
Every day. I'm gonna be pushing some narratives.
Oh my God. I believe the Lakers is coming out the West. I said it yesterday.
Braun on a mission right now. And like I said before, I don't think that's my point. I don't think he got it in the tank to carry like he used to. We saw that 2 seasons ago in the Western Conference Finals. Braun don't got that tank he used to have, but he's still him and he's still on a mission. But now he got somebody with him that can do that for him while he's still doing his thing. So as wide open as I think the West is, because I don't think the West is door shut at all. And I think the Lakers, and I also think the Lakers beat OKC. The only team I think the Lakers should be concerned about is the Nuggets. That's it.
I'm really intrigued. If the Lakers, I'm really intrigued. Like, because I want to see them do that. Like, I want to see how it happens.
Hey, once again.
Conde, you don't even get a share in that. Lakers
you see how he's hating. You see how he's
hating
that.
As soon as the Lakers talk about,
as soon as the Lakers are even in conversation,
it made no sense.
He's hating. I can like who I want to like.
He mad the Lakers made a trade to benefit their team.
Yeah, made a steal.
Why would they trade for Luka? Why would they trade for Luka Doncic?
I don't know. I'm ethical.
So you were gonna trade Jamal Murray for Luka?
I'll open the bidding market, everybody.
I just want him to win it. I just want him to win it.
Yo, he's like,
yo, I want to make this real clear right now. I don't jump from team to team. I got one squad, one band, one sound. I got one team. I respect basketball, and I'm a basketball fan over everything. Damn the Kings, damn every team. I'm a basketball fan, and I'm not jumping from team to team. Yeah, I had the Knicks at one point. I had the Celtics at one point. But things changed throughout the season. It's an 82-game season. Things changed. Before the season started, all these trades and everything wasn't happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not allowed to change what you say. Once you say something,
if AD,
you gotta stand on it.
If AD, Gafford, Lively, and Kyrie weren't out, I would have the Mavs winning the West. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
All this smoke
once
is
you say
dead. It'll be the funniest story if next week they end up losing to Denver again, and we're right back here where we were.
I had the Cavs
right back here.
Oh my gosh!
This is the thing, though. This is the thing, though.
They got one win with a new adjustment, and it was like, oh my gosh, we're here. Jeannie Buss said we had to get rid of AD because we weren't going to beat the Nuggets again, and he wanted to play center. The owner talking
first
about,
of all, she don't talk like that.
We had to trade AD because we weren't going to beat the Nuggets. What kind of admission is that? Ugh, yuck.
He didn't want to play
the end of
center.
the day,
Show some respect to Jeannie, though. She don't talk like that, bro.
Yuck.
I just don't want to be honest with you. I just don't want to have to defend 7 losses in the finals.
Oh my God!
I didn't even think about if he actually went and lost.
Yeah, I don't want to have to.
Oh my
bro, it's gonna be disgusting. And I'm in Chicago. I'm in Chicago.
I didn't even think about the
repercussions
of a 7th finals loss.
That would be one less loss. That would be one less loss than Jerry West, and I would have to defend that.
Chill.
I'm
in Chicago. I'm going to get jumped daily. People call my phone personally every time LeBron loses.
I would really have to. If the Lakers played the Celtics, I'm throwing on a James jersey because I don't want to have to defend that. I don't.
You would
if they lose to Jason Tatum in the finals, that'd be great.
You would jump ship off your young prince for LeBron.
Yes.
I mean, what's LeBron?
Yes, I would.
There's too many LeBron fans up here, bro. That's what I'm saying.
As you were saying, Ron.
Skateboard said that nigga Wemby need to be a power forward, and the Spurs need to trade for a center from New York.
That center from New York, Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson. Which one's he talking about?
Wemby is a center, my guy. He is.
Yes, he is.
Wemby's a 5, but I mean,
he ain't no 5.
He a 2-octane 80.
What is he?
Guard. He is a 2 guard.
He a 2 on offense, a 5 on defense.
2 don't defend the
rim. All right,
like that.
5 years from now, Wemby gonna be 31, 16, 6 assists, and 3 blocks. He gonna be some of everything.
I'm not gonna lie, LeBron and NBA Power versus the Celtics, he would be monstrous. By the way, chill. He would have an incredible series.
LeBron would have a phenomenal
series. Free eats. Nobody at the rim. Free eats. Oh my God!
Like I said, man,
nobody at the rim. KP at the rim. Nobody at the rim.
You better pray KP is healthy. You better pray.
Man, KP ain't stopping him.
But I'm saying, like, KP
playing, gonna be down there.
Yeah, Al Horford gonna be Dorian Finney-Smith in the corner somewhere. Get out the way.
I'm telling you,
Hall of Fame are gonna be there.
But this is the thing. I've thought about this for a while. Like I've really stayed up and thought about how the Lakers match up against some of these teams. And if you look at how the Celtics guarded the Mavericks last year, they put Jason Tatum on the 5-man, and then they was like, okay, we're gonna switch every pick and roll between Luka and Derek Lively. But now, who are you gonna put on LeBron? Is it Drew? Is it Derek White? Is it KP? I mean, we can almost just run small, So it's like we can space out the floor. We can get KP on the perimeter. We can get LeBron and switch on Derek White. There's so much we can do against OKC.
You know what? I got an idea. You know where I would put LeBron strategically in that game? Retirement home, because he ain't gonna get past Denver this year. So, but if he did though, he'd be great in that series.
Yo, I gotta get back to these super chats. I need y'all to focus with me. All right,
focus.
Josh Marbury said, "Did we ever get Ox's top 10 all time?"
Like I said, I got banned and blackballed from PC for like 7 months because of my top 10 list.
Well,
I didn't come back on.
Is it still the same? Has it not changed in
I suppose
years?
I wouldn't say it because
some things have fluctuated a little bit, but it's pretty much.
Is Kareem still 1? Is Bron still 6? Is Scottie Pippen still 10?
Kareem is still 1. Jordan is still 2.
Tim
Duncan is still yes, and Tim Duncan is still 4.
I'm not gonna lie.
You got Bron at 5 and
Kobe my top 10.
No, I had Shaq at 5.
I have
Bron at 6, Kobe at 7.
All right.
I have some
Kobe at 6, Bron at 7.
That I'm just waiting.
Oh damn! No, for Larry Bird, the best small forward of all time.
John D, I'm not gonna hold you. But
I got.
If I did buy jerseys, it was that Luka yellow jersey. If I did,
but why Bird below Bron? If you said Bird the best small forward,
sure.
Antoine El Ron said, if Luka stays the overall plus defender, I think he's been since 24, retains 24 shooting, and also off the ball does more, That sways Luka versus Shea, Jokic, and Giannis.
Yeah,
No.
if Luka gets way better, yes, I think it gives him a better chance.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so sick of this, man. That's what I'm saying. I got Luka looks like a yeah. They're literally running the scheme. Never mind. I'm done. You're right.
It's okay.
Being a positive within a scheme is what made you
No,
say
I
Jokic
know.
is viable.
Sure. What? I didn't hear that part. What'd you say?
Being a positive within a defensive scheme is what led to you saying Jokic was a viable defender.
No,
It's
that's
the
not what
same
I said.
thing.
Actually, He was
What
a great
did you
post
say?
defender.
What did you say?
He was a
Ken?
great post defender. I don't know what to tell you. He was an individual post defender.
You have
y'all got me-
hesitated.
I don't have any hate for Luka. I've literally been advocating that he never should have been put in a situation in the first place because he's too great to be traded for a bag of chips, a bag of I don't even know, bro. Fritos with no chili in them.
Max Christie, respect Max Christie and Anthony Davis. Just respect those guys.
Realist123 responded to the last super chat and said, Mars, you are nasty, bro. I ain't with that woke-ish.
What was that about?
About his.
I was
about
just
having a
saying.
baby.
I was just saying.
A baby boy.
We don't know how.
You know, you got to be
identifies
safe
all his-
nowadays.
all
You
his-
know, you got to be safe.
Yeah, I don't want to offend. So I'm
You
just
too young to be talking.
Yeah,
Be
you
safe.
offend somebody like that, the whole channel get canceled.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like you don't know how the baby identifies, man. I'm just saying, you gotta be careful.
Antoine El Hosran said, Mars, I don't know how you don't evaluate Keyshawn George more. Post Kuzma, he's been great as a shooter and defender, and is playing power forward more at 6'7", plus 5.2 on and off.
I don't think I've watched the Wizards game since the deadline.
Like one game, Mars.
Yeah, I don't think I have. So I'm not gonna analyze what I haven't seen. So if Keyshawn George is hooping, I'll keep my eyes out. Whenever the Wizards have a game that I'm interested in, I'll watch it. But like, I just haven't watched the Wizards since the deadline. They've been winning games, and people are very passionate that they're better than the Hornets. So I must be missing something. But yeah, I haven't watched any Wizards games in a while. It's been like early February, so we're approaching a month.
There's teams that
is a tough watch.
Yeah, we're approaching nearly a month since I've watched the Wizards. So I'll be lying to you if I was like, oh yeah, Keyshawn George, you've been doing this, and this. I don't talk about things I haven't watched. I tried to make a very strong point of that.
Who's the best George in the NBA? Keontae? I'm with that.
What other Georges are there?
Very well be.
Paul George, Keontae George.
I don't know. I might have to lean to Keontae.
Paul is better than Keontae. Let's be serious.
Average Joe said, I'm ready to say it. Derek White might be top 5 grenade makers of all time. It's crazy how often it happens.
So we need Derek White on the Lakers. Is that what I'm hearing? We need Derek White on the Lakers to play with Luka.
Top 5 quickest to tie their shoes. Top 5 feet shufflers. Top 5 grenade launchers. Top 5 grenade passers.
You'd be surprised how many people have like rankings for everything. Like the amount of questions, I'll be like, someone will ask me like, what's your ranking for the top 5? Like, and it's the most random thing. I'm like, I don't have a list for a top 10 of all time, let alone the most arbitrary ranking you could come up with. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't just be going on my way just ranking random things. Like, who's the top 5 offhanded finishers below the rim? I don't know. Like,
in the third quarter. In the third quarter, by the way,
I tell you the answer to that question. I don't just go out my way analyzing players and like, I wonder where he ranks doing this singular thing. No, I just know someone's good. Like, if I know someone's good at something, I acknowledge it. I don't rank everything I see. I feel like if I get caught up in ranking everything, and I just end up just comparing everyone to everyone else, it's like, oh no, you're just good. If you're good,
the reason why these people come up with these rankings, Mars, the reason why these people come up with these rankings is because they want you to say their guy. That's why they come up with them.
It's just so random. Like, I could tell you the best shooter in the league is Steph Curry. I could do that. But if you ask me, like, who's the best coming off a curl screen to their left, off a 1-2 pull-up, like, I don't know. Like, can't tell you the answer to that. I'm sorry.
Kent Lipscomb Jr. said, Colorado Springs, stand up. Hashtag Capsule Rookie of the Year. Hashtag Manu top 5 shooting guard.
Shout out Colorado Springs.
Top five is a stretch, but he in and around my top 10. I know that.
You running 5.7 said, why are y'all talking about New York? The Bucks won't see New York unless it's the East Finals. The Cavs don't want to see the Bucks. And Milwaukee is Boston's toughest matchup. That might be my burner.
Want to see the Bucks.
Giannis is
that might be my burner
matchup.
Giannis
himself.
I don't think the Bucks is Boston's toughest matchup.
Dame is not their toughest matchup.
Giannis is their toughest matchup.
Yeah,
yes,
Giannis is probably anybody's toughest matchup. Nobody is just straight dealing.
I don't know. Cleveland's toughest. I think Cleveland's toughest matchup is Boston, not Giannis or the Bucks. I think Cleveland's toughest matchup is Boston. So I mean, it comes down to personnel.
For whatever reason, Bam feels comfortable playing Giannis. I don't, so I think he would be like, "Oh, great, good to see you again, brother."
The Heat aren't serious. So.
Medved said, "If the Lakers or Nuggets come out of the West and the Knicks or Bucks in the East, it will be an exciting finals. If it's Celtics, Cavs, OKC, snooze fest."
Because those are probably not good.
TV rating.
Yeah, because it's not his crew. That's why. It's because it's not his crew. That's why it would be exciting.
Yeah, but he's like, I seen the clip. Kendrick Perkins talking about the Lakers are saving the NBA. Like, have you been watching this season?
And it's like these be former players too. Like,
are we watching the same? This NBA season's been amazing.
I mean,
we have two historic teams. We have a Celtics team that aren't playing at a historic level, but we know what they're capable of. We've got young teams like the Pistons playing their minds off right now. The same with the Rockets early on, even if the Rockets are regressing. You got teams like the Grizzlies. You got teams like the Grizzlies who are playing unlike anyone else in the NBA. You got the Pacers going on a crazy run for the last 2 months, looking like one of the best teams in the NBA. But yeah, tell me how the Lakers are saving the NBA.
Well, Mars, you see, All-Star Weekend was trash. You got a bunch of teams that's just chucking up threes. It just hasn't been exciting. But now you got Luka playing for the Lakers.
Luka now you want to watch more threes than damn near everyone in the league.
Now you want to watch. Who would have thought?
Is what it is.
And it's crazy because some of the best games of the season have been Cleveland versus OKC. That Boston versus Cleveland game, Boston versus OKC game was really good. Boston versus Cleveland. There's been a lot of really good games this season, man. And it's just like people are just like,
no, this has been a great season.
It's been
an amazing season.
It's been an amazing season.
And I think these last 20 games is going to be even better because teams just trying to shape up for the playoffs.
And then we're gonna have like a good playoff matchup in almost every
playoffs is about to be
series.
Fire.
Just hope people can be healthy, man.
Not whoever OKC plays in the first round. That's
about. If it's Minnesota, that could be an interesting series.
I don't think Minnesota's gonna be there though. I think they're gonna.
Neither do I. I think Minnesota's climbing, but if Minnesota are there, that could be interesting.
Only thing I wouldn't.
The Warriors to a lesser degree, even though I don't think the Warriors are gonna be there, but I think that could be interesting. Everyone else, yeah. So
they're gonna play the Shamrocks in the first round. It's gonna be some, Clippers or something. And it's going to be over.
Cleveland versus Orlando might be a snooze fest, though. Hopefully, they just sweep them and unless Paolo wants to decide to be one of my favorite players.
Paolo turn into Carmelo Anthony again? Yeah, we here for it.
Nah, man.
Well, you keep doing that. Don't drag Melo's legacy down for your agenda.
Come on. I don't want to hear that.
Average Joe said the Bucks' primary defenders versus Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum in 2022, Wesley Matthews, George Hill, Pat Connaughton, and Grayson Allen.
What?
Ew.
Drew Holiday was on that team.
In 22? Yes, he was. He was on that team.
Yeah, I don't think that's correct.
No, it wasn't. I watched that whole series. Drew Holiday was the primary defender.
I don't think that's correct, but
Jamal Williams says, shout out Bam. Got his joy back since 22. Since 22 left, he been hooping. Since 22 left, Jimmy Butler, he's been hooping. If Miami can get De'Aaron without giving up hero wear, can they rep what the Cavs is doing?
A, Bam's been hooping since he moved to the 4. So
that's number one.
Since Bam moved to the 4, he's been hooping. And B, how the hell you getting De'Aaron without giving up anything?
It's not like they have draft capital.
We're going Terry Rozier.
They're going to draft Dylan Harper, and then all of a sudden, we like, you know what? We don't need you anymore, De'Aaron.
We got Terry Rozier. We got Hami Hawkins. We got Shovik.
Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Sohan, Vassell, and Wemby would be dirty.
Chill. I do draft content all the time. So when draft comes around, I make sure
I will tap in.
You be so shocked when we talk about Dylan Harper like this. Dylan Harper is nice.
I know he is.
Play off ball. He can play in between. He's a good playmaker. He's a crafty finisher. There's so much about Dylan Harper's game where I'll look at him and be like, he if he wins Rookie of the Year next year, I don't think that's crazy.
He reminds me of Jalen Brunson, but big.
6'6". He's 6'6".
Jalen Brunson. Yeah,
like very good footwork, very good touch around the rim. He's really good at finishing over larger defenders with his angles around the basket and his touch around the basket. And he can play off ball. Like he's played off ball this season. So, hey man, Dylan is gonna be nice. He's gonna be nice.
All right.
Very clear number 2 pick. Oh, I got it. Okay. What do we have? Daron Forst said Tatum and Braun will be the only superstars in NBA history to beat 70-win teams in a playoff series. So,
Yeah,
the
player
Celtics,
A.
That could happen.
Celtics
That could
beating the
happen.
Cavs is what he's saying.
That could happen.
Player A.
Okay. Lee Mack, did the 04 Pistons have a superstar player like a Kareem or Jordan on their team?
No, they didn't.
MTHJ301 said, what's more valuable, averaging 2 steals and a block from guard or 2 blocks and a steal from a big?
Steals.
Well, Mobley's a more valuable defender than Shea.
Yeah.
But steals are more valuable than blocks, in my opinion. Go ahead, Ron. You got it.
Average Joe said Bucks starting 6'7" Prince, 6'8" Kuz, 6'11" Giannis with Brook. That changes them a lot. Bucks finally have athletes, which has been their biggest flaw.
I agree. Now their schedule's about to start toughening up. Like
their next 8 games are ridiculous.
I think
it's actually going to say a lot about the Bucks.
This is where I look at the Bucks and I see it. I'm gonna be keeping my eye on the Bucks. So in about 2 weeks, I'm gonna have like my close to final opinion on the Bucks.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put it like this. We finna handle this next 8 games. We got Cleveland in 2 games. We play Indiana twice. We play the Lakers twice, OKC and Golden State.
This can either go really badly or really well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or it could go just solid. Like you have some good performance against some matchups. But I'm gonna have like my close to final opinion on the Bucks.
I see them. They go 6-2 in these next 8. My
defense looks looking unstoppable. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Can't wait to talk about the Bucks in 2 weeks. But all right, y'all. DSG Piccolo said no, Mars. Dyson was number 1. Blocks recovered are also included, which is why Wemby is so high. See, I figured blocks would be in there in some way, shape, or form.
Blocks recovered, not blocks out of bounds.
Yeah.
If you keep the ball. Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Dyson. All defensive first team, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, shout out to Dyson.
Top 3.
Dyson better be first team.
I'd expect him to be first team, yeah.
Pirates Playground said, have a blessed Lent, PC. May you all be strong and resilient. Know that he loves you. It may be hard to feel sometimes, but his love is always with you.
What's Lent?
It's 40 days before Easter, where you fast, you pray, and it's a religious thing where you fast and pray and just become more one with self.
Everybody have a blessed Lent.
And so Christian Ramadan. Is that what it is? The Christian Ramadan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Jay sent through back-to-back super chats and said Harden deserved the MVP easily. 2018 Cavs were not known as were not known as terrible after the trade deadline, no matter how many times Old Town.
Yes, they were. They flipped the roster. They had 5 different dudes. What are you talking about? Yes, they were. Get the hell out of here.
And then Jay sent through another super chat and said, y'all just be saying shit. Cause what?
And what you doing is you actually paying to say shit.
Once again, as a guy that, just applied to come up here, you can always do it.
Please.
You can talk for free. I didn't have to come up here. So just hit Ron up, scan that little QR code, fill out your name, your information, make a 30-second video. You could be up here. You feel me?
Fuck out of here.
We do need one more person in the PCL because I had somebody drop out yesterday. A guy that you guys know very well. Mike could be there.
How did you determine the seeding, Ron?
The seeding is not based on, so we're not doing seeding because it's very subjective. Okay. Very subjective. But guys like you, guys like Pirate, and guys that went far during the last PCL, you guys will get blessed with wild card opponents.
Oh, that might not be a blessing.
Do you want to battle Chill the first round? At all. Do you want to see
What if I come up against someone like me?
Do you want Dion from Ohio? Do you want Dion from Ohio? See what I'm saying is it's all subjective. So
Jack Coty, where Jack? Where Jack at?
Jack's
I think I lost to the I lost the Pirate.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna put you and Mars against some of these wild cards might be, or you and Pirate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these wild cards ain't exactly like free. Like imagine we did the PCL 2.5 years ago before I was a panelist, and I was the first round matchup for someone because I was a wild card. Now they lose in round 1. That's tough. I want to go up against these wild cards. I'm scared.
Might be tough luck. But
we'll just have to see. He knows what he's doing.
We'll just have to see. Justin Dot said, "Are we sure KG a better mid-range shooter than Giannis?"
Yes. Yes.
I'm 100% sure. I'm 100%.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Giannis turning into dirt right before our very eyes.
You know how certain I am. Like I don't think the level of certainty I have that KG is better than Giannis.
Yeah,
it's above fathomable. It's not fathomable. It's ridiculous. I'm that certain.
Kaz with the super chat said NBA Central posted LaMelo wants to go to a contender. Where could he go / who needs him, and why would him and Ant low-key cook on the Wolves?
This is some 2K shit right here. It is.
We saw.
I'll take LaMelo in Houston.
He works in Golden State too.
It is the path for LaMelo to go to the Wolves though, and I do like that backcourt.
What's the path?
I mean, essentially, Julius Randle, that money matches up, and then
yeah.
the Wolves got young pieces. They got Rob Dillingham.
But does that match up with Fred VanVleet?
Here we go, man. Here we go.
Who would you rather have? Julius Randle or Fred VanVleet?
Hey, with that be, if
I'll
I'm him, I'd rather Phoenix picks. Well, it's not about Fred or Julius. It's about the other
one
pieces.
pick, one Phoenix. Pick.
It's about the other pieces.
See, I need
you got one Phoenix pick.
I need two, and throw in Cam Whitmore.
We'll throw in Cam Whitmore and one Phoenix pick.
I need Reed Shepard too.
You can shut up.
See,
hey, zip it. Next
you got Rob Dillingham from the Wolves. You got Rob Dillingham from the Wolves.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Okay. If you're trying to get Rob Dillingham too, then all right, cool.
No, we're not doing that.
Me.
No,
I rob them too.
No, Rob Dillingham. If I'm almost 100% certain if the Hornets trade LaMelo Ball to the Wolves, Rob Dillingham, probably Terrence Shannon, and maybe even Nas Reed's in that package too.
Hell no.
They're not worth it at that point.
Hell no.
Yeah, that'll still be worth it.
LaMelo. No, I'm sorry.
You have LaMelo. You have LaMelo, and first off, LaMelo takes that team to a completely different level with LaMelo and Ant. Now I know LaMelo comes with his defensive deficiencies, but so did Luka Doncic. Now look how the Lakers look like a completely different team. When you have an offensive player that can just completely bend another team's defense alongside another person that just gets to it at will, Ant and LaMelo would be unstoppable. You still have Rudy Gobert manning the defense, and then you have Jaden McDaniels still, and then you have what's his name, DiVincenzo, and you still have Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That team would be
I ain't getting enough Nas Reed.
I'm not saying that they should, and I'm not saying they would. I'm just saying you get a bunch of young players. Yo,
you get Fred VanVleet, Cam Whitmore on a pick.
Mars.
A Phoenix pick. Very, very relevant. Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Right.
Exactly.
Yo, they're not doing that. Like
everyone swear I'll be trying to rob him. I'll be offering good trades, and just because it's me, it's like, oh my god, he's trying to rob us.
No, you don't. You do not.
Okay. Well,
no, you don't. But go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
Average Joe said, hey, y'all gonna stop disrespecting the Bay. Mars. Aaron Gordon is not the problem.
I never said he's the problem, but of all the things that are problematic, the Nuggets are not a good defense. Jokic and Jamal Murray are not good defenders. Neither is Michael Porter Jr. But just based off roster needs, they still have to start. Aaron Gordon has not been a good defender. And I think he's the one who can be removed from the starting lineup the easiest. He's a casualty of war. If he was playing good defense like he was last year, I wouldn't be saying get him out of the starting lineup. But his defense been trash.
Antoine El Host Ron said, the tank for Cooper Flag is low-key close.
It's really close.
Yeah, I think the Wizards winning a bit too many games. They're still like 2 games back of Charlotte, but then
I mean they still gonna get 14% no matter what.
Yeah, you just need to be on the. You just need to be on the bottom 3. You just need to be on the bottom 3.
Yes,
and I don't think it's seriously between 4 teams. I don't think Toronto is going to be bad enough, so I think it's only between the Pels, the Jazz, the Hornets, and the Wizards. And I think it will just stay the Wizards, the Hornets, and the Jazz. And that's what I expect.
After last year, it's just like I don't know. After the hot swoop didn't got it, I'm just like,
I want Cooper Flag to be a Wizard, and I want Dylan Harper to be a Pelican, and we can move. I promise you that'll be the best draft.
I want Cooper Flag to be a Rocket. So
C2 React said Cooper Flag draft prediction. I think the Jazz.
I just don't want to see him in Charlotte. That's all. I don't.
I don't want to see him in Portland just because of the history of the number 1 pick over there.
Mm-hmm.
Antoine El Host Ron said also Poole has been better than Ja this season. Jordan Poole greater than Ja Morant?
Ja hasn't been Very good.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Rod said Trey Johnson and Giddy will feed families.
You know, one of the things that Chicago could really do is draft another guard. You know, it's not the right thing to do, but since it's Chicago, it's probably what they're going to do.
Okay. Yeah, they could do it. Okay, they could.
Clamp God Rob said, "Get Terry off my team, straight terrorist."
Heat fan.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Williams said, "Did the Luka trade not
take over
the Super Bowl weekend?"
Yes,
Yeah, when you're sending super chats on your phone, it'd be a
No, he only sent 199. I think there's a character limit. I think. But maybe it is on the phone, but character limit, I think.
But I mean, kinda. It didn't really help that the Super Bowl was a massive blowout. But the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl, man. Like, it's one of the biggest events in America.
Kendrick took over the Super Bowl. Lego Rovers said DeMar's style of basketball is so trash. Free Zach.
No,
I'm not gonna lie, I did not want to see him on the Kings. But
I wanted him on the Warriors, but
I really wanted to see him on the Nuggets. As a non-fan, just like stepping back and looking at basketball, I would love to see Zach on the Nuggets.
Fint Jones said, "Love y'all, but y'all some betting morons."
I think it's clear that a lot of those bets be narratives.
Shout out the narratives.
Just having fun.
Lego Rover said, "What does Tumani do on offense?"
He can shoot the three. He's not great at it, but he can shoot the three. Yeah.
He'll dunk on your ass too.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboy Bob said, "I was being sarcastic and giving Swiper credit."
Don't give Swiper credit.
John Cena said, "Swiper be gassing Indiana's defense. They are 17th. Mo said, 50 on my Pistons is crazy. Dub to my GOAT. You was enjoying your
Just
Pistons.
for you, Mo.
Work?
Just for you, bro.
I'm happy you got to see it. John Cena with the super chat said 20th in defensive rating in February. LOL. One good month. Laughing my ass off. Motaz Musa said thoughts on Gil saying JT's the face of the league.
He could be.
I kind of agree with some of the things he was saying. C2 React said, Mars, who you got winning the UCL?
I don't know. I don't even know who's in it.
Same here. Like, I have no clues.
I know Arsenal won that game, but I don't know who's in it.
Mars, do you even watch football as much as you used to?
I don't watch it at all.
Shout out soccer. Dribble Warrior said, who's better, Chill? Tatum or SGA?
Jason Tatum.
Hoop never stops. Said, I don't see how the Pacers beat a healthy Bucks.
I see an average. Would I pick them? No, but I see an average.
I did athleticism. I do think I probably favor the Bucks now. Pre-deadline, I would have favored the Pacers. They just moved the ball too much, and the Bucks just don't cover ground. But now I think I might favor the Bucks. But like I said, this 8-game stretch can tell me a lot.
You Running 5.7. Once again, this is my burner account. You Running said Milwaukee will upset the Cavs in round 2. Book it.
I will.
It's tough.
And last but certainly not least, Nicola Gotcha Bitch with the super chat said, so when is the In the Conversation merch dropping? Got to be with the two fingers on this side.
That's a very good question. Yes.
I would definitely rock it In the Conversation merch.
Sure. I need one of that. I need a little hoodie.
100% I would rock that.
Thanks.
All right, y'all. Make sure you tap into the games tonight. We will be back tomorrow to talk about everything that happens in the next 24 hours. In the meantime, do what you do in the meantime.
Later.
Merry Christmas.
Later.